for free. You really should.
That's the worst advice I think anyone's ever given anyone.
Yeah. What?
You should work for free.
Well, you should earn the job. You never earned it.
What?
You just walked in the door.
Oh my God.
Oh, it's a Britney.
I'm gonna have to record this and play it for you later.
I hope you didn't think I didn't see the wink there, because I did.
Yeah. I just was reminding
Brittany's not very subtle. Like, there's a lot of times where, like, she's trying to, like, signal to AJ, and I'm like, you're on camera. Like, people can see, like, we can see you, Brittany.
I know, but I try to be nice.
You?
Yeah, well, I believe it or not, I have a heart and a soul.
I have a heart and a soul. All right, we do have to check the weather, because you ain't going to like some of these temperatures in here, I'll tell you that.
Now I'm going to get crabby.
Holy, I think we all are, to tell you the truth. Here's the deal. Today, a spotty early shower, partly sunny and windy and cool. Windy and a high of 63. Tonight, coolest night so far this fall, a low of 44. But that's not where it ends. So 63 today, 44 tonight. Friday, blustery and cully. What the hell does that mean?
Cully?
Blustery and cully.
Cooler? I don't know. Windy?
Cully. What is cully? Was that you?
It was a good friend, Ken Barlow.
Ken Barlow sent this over.
Yes, I copy and pasted.
Blustery and cully.
There was no spelling errors on the doc, so I just printed it off.
See what that says? It says blustery and cully right there.
But I will take full blame if needed. Because Ken Barlow's a saint. He gets me the weather every morning. I'm willing to take this bullet for him.
Glad to hear it.
It's too late. You definitely did pass the bullet on. But I have a question. What is cully supposed to be?
I don't know. It looks like there is a
chili.
Well, there is a
maybe
cully, and it looks like it's a location somewhere in Switzerland where it's 66 degrees Fahrenheit today.
It's got to be it.
But I don't know. There's no official weather term that is cully.
You know what we're going to do from now on? I think AJ and I are going to show up, do this show, and then we're going to go, and our other two buddies are here now, blustery and cully.
I've been called worse today.
Just today?
Yeah, today I've been called worse.
In this room.
In this room. In my own home.
5 minutes ago.
Just now, as a matter of fact. All right, I got to start it over because it only gets worse. I got to tell you that. Spotty early shower, partly sunny and windy with a high of 63. Tonight, coolest night so far this fall with a low of 44. Friday, blustery and cully with occasional showers, a high of 50. But then the low tonight is tomorrow night, is 39. The 30s. Woo!
That's rough.
Saturday, partly sunny with a high of 53, but a low of 40, another low of 41, another low of 44. At night, it's not going to get in the 50s. I mean, it's going to drop down into the 40s, I guess is a better way to put it. It's going to be in the 40s tonight, tomorrow night, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. For the next week, it's going to be in the 40s every night. I'm glad I wore this sweater today just to get ready.
Get ready for
I
it.
guess it's a vest. It's not a sweater. And yes, I confess, I'm not color coordinated because I am going to bring home a World Series victory by wearing this hat.
Okay, I actually don't think you are not color coordinated.
Well, blue and green, it's kind of okay, isn't it?
Yeah,
I think they go together.
Actually,
Okay.
you look great. Like the
For
hat.
me?
No, just in general. For even me, you look good.
Hey, Cully, watch your step.
Color.
I love how that was a genuine compliment. And then you just respond with, no.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so sunny and 54 now, and it's going to be 63 later, but it's going to be in the 40s starting tonight for the rest of the week. Overnight, it's going to be in the 40s. A little chilly, don't you
A
think?
little cold, I would say so.
Yeah, look, cully outside.
The weather
very
outside
cully.
is
Yeah.
cully.
The weather outside is cully. I know your mammy's a bully.
Your mammy is a bully.
Cully and bully? What do you think?
Oh,
Kind of.
It's
It works.
a
We can work on it.
Don't you love that in songs that are written when you knew they were struggling to find a rhyme?
Yep.
right when they
And-
make the stretch.
And they like slur the second
Yeah,
word to
they
try and
do.
make it sound a little bit better.
Absolutely, they do.
T-Pain with the all-time greatest one.
Oh my gosh. I'll put you in a log mansion somewhere in Wisconsin.
He does not.
Yeah.
Yes.
He had
Somewhere
to find
in
it.
Wisconsin?
In Wisconsin.
I love it.
That was impressive that you
Mansion
guys
and-
both knew that one.
Me and AJ, great minds. Think alike.
Yes.
I got to go home. Great minds think alike.
Say it one
Yeah.
more. AJ, now your turn to say it.
What's
The rhyme.
The rhyme?
Yeah.
I'll put you up in a log cabin or log mansion somewhere in Wisconsin.
So good.
He actually says Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I just wanted to hear it.
Oh,
again.
it was like the
God.
greatest line in any song back in 2010. Everybody wanted to go to Wisconsin.
I was talking to my friend. We went to Wisconsin last night and got some cheese.
Yep.
Wisconsin.
Good for you in Wisconsin. So there you go. Yeah, it's that's the whole deal, ladies and gentlemen. So what's your favorite story you picked out so far? Most popular Halloween candy by state?
I actually was do that one, and then eventually we have to do the Man at the Villages stockpiles.
Okay, I'll do that now, though. I'll do that now because we can always get to the popular candy by date or by state or whatever the hell it is, by Cully, something like that. McCully, there's McCully Culkin.
Or I was thinking what's the Cully song that's like Zoom Cully. Damn it, it's like a children's song. This doesn't bother me. Sorry, go on to your. I thought somebody was going to be on board with me. We're just going to ignore myself for a second.
Are you talking about Zoom Golly, 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 Zoom?
Yeah,
golly,
that
golly.
one. Yep.
We used to sing that when I was at St. Anne's, baby.
Yeah, there you go.
Dang.
Yeah, Zoom Golly, 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 Zoom Golly, Golly, Zoom Golly,
I don't know.
Golly, Golly. We got it down now, baby.
What is that song? Like, is it a religious song?
I don't know. I
Oh.
never paid attention to
I
the
think
religious part.
Somebody hit up the Tom Barnard show app, message us, and let us know what the Zoom Gully song
I feel like it's just like it's like a silly word song. That's what I'm getting the vibe of.
You think so?
Mm-hmm.
What if it's very important?
Well, I'll never know.
Yes, you will, because we'll tell you right here. No
Perfect.
question about it. Villages man, 77, faces hard time for stockpile of illegal ED drugs in retirement community. What would be an illegal ED drug? I don't even know what that would
Maybe
be.
stockpiling them.
Yeah, I think he just had them, which is probably illegal, or like a large enough amount where it's illegal.
You didn't do your thing.
What? That's because I saw something. I was distracted. What thing?
Villages.
Oh, the villages.
Thank you.
He always does that fist pump because he made about a
He made a
2-foot
putt.
putt. But the putt's like 18 inches away.
I've never seen any of this, but I
you
know
haven't?
this from you, and I love when you get excited about it.
Okay, whoever wrote this headline needs to be fired today.
Immediately.
This is a story about a 77-year-old man with a bunch of ED medication stashed in his house. You know what they're calling him?
What?
The dick doctor.
Uppers.
A hardened criminal.
Ah!
Touchdown. Hardened criminal, baby. Get
For
it?
the time being.
Clever. Yeah.
Yes, for the time being, he's a hardened criminal. He's a hardened criminal, a 77-year-old Florida man who starred in an award-winning documentary about the sprawling Villages retirement community, is accused of trying to hawk $1,800 worth of black market erectile dysfunction drug. Oh, so he's a drug dealer now.
1,800. I wonder how many pills that is.
$1,800? Yeah, I don't know how much that would be. Anybody here take hardened criminal medication?
I do not know.
I wouldn't think so. Don't look at me just because of my age. I saw
I
what you
know, I
did.
wasn't here.
I was gonna say there's somebody that should have some inclination of what the 77-year-old
Whoa.
guys did out of all of us.
See, this is what I'm saying.
You'd be the
Yeah,
closest.
I was looking because I just knew I couldn't answer. Like, I'm not taking ED meds. That's why I just went and looked around.
But
Like,
you're not going to him for Justin.
no, I
No?
I buy the prescription. I grind it up in Justin's orange juice. And I go, you're so into me today.
There's no doubt about it. You're a hardened criminal yet again. Reginald Reggie Kinser. Wouldn't you change your name if your last name was Kinser?
Reggie Kinser.
Reggie Kinser. Allegedly bought a slew of ED products, including Snovitra 20, Velitra 20, and Camagra oral jelly. I never heard of any of these.
No, me neither.
Of course,
Nope.
the font still works, so that's probably why. With the intent to sell them locally and outside the Sun's. So the guy became a drug dealer with ED medication. But he's going to go do some time for it, from what it sounds like. Oh, there's his picture. God, he does not look 77. Looks like he's about 57. Maybe I should start taking ED medication.
Maybe that's the key. Maybe I should.
Yeah, we all
Right.
should
Gotta
right
respect
now.
the hustle.
Yeah, he does not look 77 years old, I'll tell you that. The eccentric senior was featured alongside his wife, Anne, in the 2021 film Some Kind of Heaven, which focused on 4 unconventional residents of America's largest retirement community. You know, I've never been there, but I heard that place is gigantic. The Villages,
Is there more than one? Because
because it says Villages.
yeah, I just like tell me what the whole vibe.
I've never been there. So I don't know what the vibe is all about.
Yeah.
The Villages have given Reggie an opportunity to grow in different ways. His wife can be heard saying in a trailer, as Kinser is shown performing martial arts exercises next to his golf cart.
That's so like you don't even have time to put your golf cart away. You have to like hurry up and run out there and show your martial arts.
I'm doing all kind of martial arts moves right now.
Yeah, you and the ED King.
Don't you love that when people think, "Oh, I got my black belt from the Uki Buki school"? It doesn't mean shit. I'm sorry. That doesn't mean you're a karate expert.
I mean, you can be a karate expert, but I don't feel like it's always the most effective way to fight someone in this day and age. Like, have you ever been hit by a car? Is that going to help?
What?
I'm just
That's
saying.
your go-to fight move is to run somebody over with your car?
Pretty much. Like,
Brought a karate chop to a Prius fight.
yes. See what I'm saying, AJ?
Okay, so what was the Asian guy's name in the Warner Brothers cartoons about 40 years ago?
Oh, God, I'm not even going to guess. I
Nope.
feel like
That sounds like a
Asian
setup.
character.
This feels like bait.
Yeah.
No. This is true. It was his real name. The guy's real name was Juju Jitsu.
that's actually kind of cute.
Oh, you think it's cute? That's good. So you're not offended by that. I'm glad to hear that.
Well, I mean, I'm not offended because I just assumed it's because of the candy.
Because you don't get
beans.
offended.
Or because it's jujitsu is the style of
I was
fighting.
joking, so it wasn't racist,
Okay.
Devin.
What?
Jujitsu isn't reserved to one race. Like anybody can.
I'm
practice
just saying
jujitsu.
I wouldn't lean
I
towards somebody
disagree.
that had nothing to do with it.
I think you guys are all a disaster. That's what I think. We have Judd with us, ladies and gentlemen. Judd, you're looking at the hat. You're going to be looking at this hat for as long as the Twins are in the playoffs because I'm not taking it off.
Yeah, well, you know what? I should be. My God, how much fun was that again yesterday? Did you have a good time at the game?
Oh, God, we had some. Josh Arnold invited me to the game yesterday. Catherine and I went. We both just had a magnificent time. Met a bunch of great people, listeners to the show, by the way. So thank you all. There's a matter of fact, a young woman who is going to listen to the show from now on. But yeah, I tell you, it was so incredible. I had never seen that before, where everybody takes out their phone and holds it up with the light on. That's kind of a cool visual.
Mm-hmm.
I've never
Yes,
seen that before.
That's the thing now. And instead of, I think it started at concerts, right? Instead of your Bic coming out, and I said Bic coming out for the lighter, you take your cell phone out. But that atmosphere there, and I thought it was especially telling that Sonny Gray, in talking about that pickoff play in the fifth, was saying that Correa told him about it early and said we should put this play on because the runner on second base can't hear the third base coach say to get back because the stadium's so loud.
Oh, I like that.
And so Correa, who is an incredibly smart player, said, let's put the play on because if it comes to that, it's going to get to the point where the guy on second, Guerrero in this case, can't hear. But yeah, that was what a fun 2 games and what a great atmosphere for 2 days. It was just fantastic.
I will say this again. I've said it a billion times. I'll say it a million times more. That is a magnificently beautiful stadium. God, that's a great stadium.
Oh, Target Field, yeah. Target Field is, and you know they've basically paid. They have paid, the Twins have, to upgrade that thing pretty consistently too.
Yeah.
I mean, it was built, it was great, but you know, as far as trying to make improvements and keep it up to date. But yes, and what I like though is that this, you know, there was a lot of, I think, questions about the fans going in as far as, you know, don't have to be told to make noise, just make noise. And I kept thinking to myself, you know, a lot of you didn't see the Metrodome days, but we got a taste, without a roof on, of course. We got a taste of that for 2 days because those fans, I think, played an instrumental role in really feeding off the team. See, this is my thing. In a situation like this, and this has not happened for a long time, but in a situation like this, it feels like the fans feed off the team and vice versa.
Yes.
And that's what we saw.
Yep. I'm telling you, honestly, God, it was what a feeling in the stadium, the beauty of it all. It was kind of cloudy, the whole deal. And then at the very end, as the Twins were about to win, all of a sudden, the sun popped out. It was hilarious. Just as the Twins brought home the victory, the sun began shining and the light, happy music began playing because they won their first series in 21 years.
How about that? It's just incredible.
I know.
In 2 days, you broke a 19-year and 21-year streak. In 2 days.
That's pretty good.
That's all it took.
Now, we are about to face one of the best teams in baseball. Won the World Series last year, did they not?
They did.
That's what I kind of thought. This is not going to be easy, but I have total faith in my Twins, and I'm not taking my hat off, which would be a curse if I did. And the same thing in 1987 and 91, too. Although I think in 1987, I said, I'm not even going to change my clothes, which after a couple of days didn't work out too well. So we changed that rule, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, good. I'm glad to hear. And I'm sure Catherine appreciated greatly your decision not to stand by your no changing of the clothes rule.
I'm not changing anything now that they won a series. I'm not changing clothes, nothing.
I would think the socks would be the first thing where you're like, okay, this is a major mistake.
You are correct, sir. There's no doubt about it. But the hat I can.
Yeah.
I'll take it off only to go to sleep or wash my hair. That's it.
So we've got start times now too. They put out the start time for Saturday's game. They're going to be the second game of the day after the Rangers and Orioles. So 3:35 in Houston for game 1, which I would imagine is going to be Joe Ryan, who would have started. He would have started the third and deciding game today against Toronto if it was necessary. Mm-hmm. And then Sunday is going to be a night game. It's going to be a 7:03 start in Houston, and that should be on normal rest. Pablo Lopez.
Oh, that's phenomenal. I mean, that pitching's looking good. Well, obviously, you gave up 1 run in the series. That's some good pitching.
Yep. Yeah, and you scored 5. So it would be nice to score a bit more. But damn, you know what's nice, Tom? And this is remindful of the World Series teams a little bit too. How nice is it when you got some pitching and defense?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The defense was terrific. I mean, that's one thing I love about that stadium because they've kind of angled the seats and all the stuff. Everybody in that stadium has a beautiful view of what's going on.
It's because in the Metrodome, we were all turned towards the 50-yard line.
That's true.
You know how much thought was given to baseball when the Metrodome was built?
Yeah.
I'm big fat zero.
You're right. You're absolutely right. But at least they had that swastika in the ceiling until they finally took it down. So that was good.
I didn't even realize that till you told me that story.
Did you look up the story and read it after that?
I did it. Yes, I did. I did what.
Do you think they did that on purpose just to piss people off?
I don't. I have no idea.
So you're trying to watch a baseball game and you're faced the wrong way, and when you look up, there's a swastika right above your head.
I have no clue what they would have been doing. And how does somebody to what you're saying? How does somebody not catch that?
Yes, because all the fans did the minute they walked in.
Yes. A swastika, and for the first year or two, no air conditioning. But besides that, gorgeous facility.
Oh, God, it was hot in there. It was unbelievably hot in that place. It was like being in an oven, for Christ's sake.
I guess their justification was because it was, built below ground because they dug a big hole. Yep. They said, it's like a basement. It'll be cool.
No.
And that was such a Minnesota thing, too. They actually bragged about the fact this stadium only cost $55 million.
Yes.
Right. It looks like it only costs $55 million.
Yeah. $5, Tevin. That's what it costs. $5.
Only in Minnesota would you brag about being cheapo with your stadium.
Right. That's why it didn't ventilate when you lit off fireworks and the roof collapsed.
And the acoustics sucked. But besides that, concerts there were not a pleasant experience either.
No, they were not. You're absolutely right about that. So Twins have a couple of days off, so that's good to get back at Saturday. A couple of away games at Houston. And again, Houston is a damn good team, so this is going to be a test. But I think, is it too early to make my prediction?
No.
If they can get past Houston, I think they could win it all. Houston, I think, might be the best team in baseball right now. Do you think?
I think Atlanta is.
Well,
but of course,
true.
they're not in the American League, which helps.
Right. Yep.
I'm curious to see what happens with Texas and Baltimore. Baltimore is a really fun up-and-coming team, but they don't have a lot of experience. I mean, they were a dumpster fire 2 years ago or so.
Right.
And they've got a lot of nice young talent. I don't know what they're going to be like when the pressure is on. Texas is a weird team. We saw them a few times late in the season, and they are an up and down team, and their bullpen's not good. Mm-hmm. I actually think if Texas gets by Baltimore, Houston scares me more than Texas does.
Oh, God, yes, I agree. But you have a very good point. Yeah, I think the two teams right now to get by would be Houston and then eventually in the World Series, Atlanta. They are the probably two best teams in baseball right now. You think?
Yes. Atlanta's dominant. I mean, Atlanta's really damn good. And Acuna is just a fantastic player. But I mean, Tom, if you get to the World Series, it's going to feel pretty damn good, right?
Well, it's different, too. If you get to the World Series, from what the players tell me, I obviously never played in the World Series in my life, but from all the players tell me, all of a sudden you're in the World Series, you go, this is totally different now. Mm-hmm. We actually made it here. This is a totally different team. We're thinking in a different way. And if you adjust, I think you can win it.
Yeah, and I think the question then, too, to what you're talking about is, I think the question becomes, do you have sort of the calming influences, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Because if you allow it to eat you up, it's going to. But I mean, that's where like Puckett and Herbeck and Gaetti were so great, because by the time they got there, they sort of acted. What's the story in '87? It's a pivotal moment at the Metrodome, and Gaetti and Herbeck put shaving cream in Bob Casey's phone and call him. And he takes the phone, hello, and he takes the hello, and it's full of shaving cream. He's like, you sons of a, you know what? And they're howling, laughing, and it's like this pivotal moment. So like it's stuff like that sort of makes you, what's the word I'm looking for? Impervious to the pressure.
Yes. Mm-hmm. I got to be honest with you. You just gave me a great memory. Thank you. Another great baseball memory. What year did they finish the Skyway system in downtown Minneapolis? What year would that have been, do you think? Early 80s? No, late 80s? Mid 80s? Something like that?
Probably early to mid, right? I think it was
That's what I'm thinking.
Pretty much done by the time I was in high school at Benilde in the late 80s. So, yeah, early to mid, I think you're right.
No, I think it's early to mid because in 1986, I'm walking through the Skyway system, and I am not exaggerating when I say it was a straight line, but 2 blocks away down the Skyway system, I hear, Barnard! And it was Bob Casey.
Of course.
Bob Casey screaming my name. And 2 blocks away. He thought it was wonderful.
But he had the pipes for it, so you couldn't miss it.
I loved Bob. Bob was a great guy. He was really good at his job, and I loved teasing Herbeck because now batting for the Twins, Kent, Raybeck. Was it Raybeck? Is it? That was his first at bat, I believe, in the old Met Stadium.
Yes, wearing number 26.
Number 26.
Not 14.
Not 14. It was 26. You're absolutely right. Have you seen the picture that I posted? There's a picture of Kent Herbeck. Yeah. He looks like he weighs about 180 pounds.
Yes.
God, he's just rail thin.
I still remember when he came up for his first at bat, I think he pinch hit at Yankee Stadium and homered off George Frazier. And he is rail thin.
He is. Yep. George Frazier, his name I haven't heard in a while.
Yeah, he died like 3 months ago.
That's what I heard. Yeah,
sad. But yeah, because he was on the 87 team then, right? He got traded here or came here. Yep. And was on. And I guess the story I've heard is that so Kent gets called up to play for the Twins. They're in Yankee Stadium. He's going to pinch hit, and Johnny Padres, the pitching coach, who at that time had not gone to rehab yet, said something like, "It's getting late, kid. I gotta get to the bar, end this thing."
I love that about baseball.
Yeah, you always heard the stories like back in the day, especially like Babe Ruth type era, where it was like cigarettes in the dugout. We're drinking beer in between innings. Like we all just got off a bender the night before. Yeah, different time back then.
I remember watching baseball players smoke in the dugout. I do remember that as a kid.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. I think it was the 82 World Series, Milwaukee and St. Louis, and Ted Simmons, I think, was playing for the Brewers by that point. And the TV camera panned the dugout, right? So it's like, look at the intensity. And there's Ted Simmons sucking down a Marlboro.
The world has changed a bit, ladies and gentlemen. All right, we got 2 days. Then we're back at it on Saturday. What do you see coming, Judd?
I think they're going to get a split in Houston.
All right. Well,
I think expecting them to sweep. And keep in mind, it's best 3 of 5. So you don't need to win 4. You need to win 3. But I think they're good. I think it's realistic to think that they're going to get a split there. But that's going to put them in good shape because then they'll be off. They should be off Monday. They'll play Tuesday at Target Field. They'll have back-to-back games here. And you'll have Gray going in game 3. I liked the Lopez in game 2, Gray in game 3 a lot.
Yes.
Because if nothing else, you know what? Both of those guys can bulldog their way through a game. Gray was not great in game 2 yesterday. I mean, he wasn't fantastic, but he just bulldogs his way through it, right?
Yeah, no question about it. It's very, very exciting. I had such a good time yesterday. Met so many great people. It's just that almost, well, I suppose it is the fall season now, just a couple of days in. But it's that great fall season. I know that winter's coming. I understand, but getting there is terrific. I love the fall.
Amen. I am with you completely. Because we had, I think at first pitch on Tuesday it was 84 and humid, and I believe at first pitch yesterday it was 64. This time of year, I'll take 64 every single time.
Yes, exactly.
Sorry.
All right,
I
young
loved it.
man, we will talk to you. I guess we're not going to talk to you again until game 3.
Tuesday. We'll talk to you Tuesday. Phil back tomorrow. So enjoy, you guys. Talk to you later.
You too.
Bye,
Judd.
Judd.
Thanks.
See ya. Bye-bye.
You just call him Ted.
No, I said bye, Judd.
She said, bye, Ted.
No, I definitely said Judd.
Nope, I don't. Normally, I like to take advantage of any opportunity to like pile on Brittany, but she definitely said Judd.
Thank
Judd,
you.
okay, well, good. I'm glad to hear it.
You're welcome. Brittany.
We have to take a break. You know what? Actually, the reason that popped into my head, I think, there was a woman, and I can't remember what the hell show she was on. It wasn't a hardline news show, but one of those kind of series fake news deals.
Mm-hmm.
And what did she goes, I came down and I picked up the object and I held up the object and I kind of looked at it. And I said, this is a very strange object.
I don't like any way that you're saying object. I have a hard time with it. That's so hard.
She said object 3 times. It's like, you're a reporter.
I picked up the object.
So anyway, this is from Min Fate Loose. What would Min Fate Loose be?
Minnesota Fat Loss.
Very good.
I also know our advertisers. Yeah.
She's looking at the log right now. Wait a minute. You ready? I'm going to take a break. We'll be right back in a couple of seconds, ladies and gentlemen. Tom here, and I just read a success story from MN Fat Loss client Elizabeth, who just completed the program. Elizabeth writes, I am a 54-year-old woman who has struggled with losing weight. I had almost constant heartburn, trouble sleeping, and brain fog. I tried counting calories, eating bars and shakes, and several other programs in which I would lose 5 to 10 pounds after months of struggling, only to gain it right back. After 60 days of the MN Fat Loss program, I was down 25 pounds. MN Fat Loss had really empowered me to believe that I can control my eating and my weight without having to sacrifice foods that I like. Let me assure you that the short 60 days is totally worth it. I've done it. I know what I'm talking about. If you're thinking about finally committing to improving your health, this is the time to start. You will not regret your investment in yourself. Great job, Elizabeth. I'm so happy to hear about your success. You ready to lose weight, feel better? Then go to mnfatloss.com and schedule a free phone consultation. It is so easy to see if MN Fat Loss is a good fit for you. They offer a free phone consultation to learn about the program. You don't have to take time off work or get a babysitter for the kids. It's as easy as getting on a quick call with the expert staff, which I think is a great idea. People got a lot to do these days. Hop on the phone. You can share your goals, learn about the program, and see if it's as good a fit as you, to help you lose weight, feel better, just like it did me. They also have virtual options to help you if you live far away. To schedule that free phone consultation, go to mnfatloss.com. The only thing you have to lose is that unwanted weight. That is www.mnfatloss.com. I cannot wait to hear about your success story. Let them know Tom sent you.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
This is Tom Barnard from my throttle therapy friends at Power Lodge and Miller Marine. If you're the type that doesn't mind a little hard work or getting mud everywhere as long as you've got the right machine, this is for you. Power Lodge is Minnesota's CF Moto Superstore. Since they buy more, you save more. And Power Lodge has new deals to get you ready for your fall escape. Save thousands on CF Moto off-road and side-by-sides. 4x4s starting at an unbelievable $4,599. No matter how tough the job, Power Lodge and their 5 locations has you covered with a 3-year warranty on select units. That's 3 years peace of mind. Bring home the keys and the freedom to ride with confidence. It always starts at the Lodge, Power Lodge. Plus, for a limited time, get a free CF Moto generator when you purchase select units, powering your adventures even further. With locations in Ramsey, Sauk Rapids, Onamia, St. Cloud, and Brainerd, Power Lodge is your power sports go-to destination and is the largest CF Moto dealer in the state. Call or visit today and check my throttle therapy buddies out online at powerlodge.com. Your CF Moto escape starts at the Lodge. We're up. We're up. You guys want to start paying attention to the flow of the show here at all, or what do you think?
I don't know. You're the one who's talking about it on air.
Well, that's because I was trying to read a commercial and you two were schmoozing.
You said, shut up. And we said, okay. And then you're like, you guys want to pay attention.
Why me? You think I should go back to working from home? Probably be a good idea, wouldn't it?
You know, it'd be a decision that I'll let you make. I'll let you make it.
So nervous.
AJ said it's a decision.
How do I tiptoe around this one?
It's not possible, ladies and gentlemen. Anyway, we'll be right back in a couple of seconds, ladies and gentlemen. You need to know a guy for your auto repairs, legal issues, banking, and more. The same goes for investment advice. You need a guy to help you be successful. Someone you can trust who gets results. Well, I got a guy for you, Josh Arnold. Josh gives you straight talk, not sugar-coated advice about your financial situation. Josh has seen it all when it comes to economic and market conditions, and Josh can make sure that your retirement objectives match your investments. Do yourself a favor. Call Josh now for a no-obligation 48-minute evaluation. You've got nothing to lose, and you'll get a different point of view for your investments. Call Josh at 952-925-5608. That's 952-925-5608. You'll be glad that you did, and tell him his guy, Tom, sent you. Ladies and gentlemen, a little weather action here. A spotty early shower, partly sunny and windy with a high of 63. Tonight, the coolest night so far this fall. Increasing clouds, a low of 44 degrees tonight. On Friday, blustery, Cully. Still says Cully.
Why not?
Exactly. Blustery and Cully with occasional showers with a high of 50. But a low tonight of 39, then a low on Sunday of 41, on Monday 44, on Tuesday 47. It's going to be in the 40s overnight from now on, it looks like. I don't know. We'll see. It might get up to 50, though, because a couple of those nights at 47, I don't know. It's 3 degrees. Right now, it is sunny. It is 56 degrees now, 56 and sunny now, but 63 later on, and then in the 40s tonight. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. Josh was a host last night at the Twins game. Josh Arnold called. You know what's really great about that is Josh and Catherine get along really well. I like that when people I work with get along with Catherine.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that hard to get along with, actually.
No, it'd be super weird if you're like, Josh hates Catherine and Catherine hates Josh.
Like, what is going on?
What is the vibe?
They just don't like hanging out with each other, and that's all there is to it.
Oh, I bet it was so fun last night.
It was an amazing night, just standing there watching that game. Beautiful, beautiful baseball stadium, no doubt about it.
Did they give you a Homer hanky?
Yep, we got another Homer hanky, so I've got about 4 of those now.
That's good.
They're red this year.
Yep.
They're cute.
Well, you showed us the first one.
Yeah.
From the first.
Yeah, the We Believe it. And there's something about getting, because I'm, again, not like a diehard Twins fan, but there's something about just being handed something you're supposed to wave over your head and then being in the middle of a crowd just going crazy. I'm like, yep, I'm going to dislocate my shoulder waving this
I love it.
I love when everyone's excited. I watched yesterday thinking about Tom at the game. I was so happy when they won.
So great. A bunch of people, I don't know, I suppose the ages ranged from 40 to 80 people in our group. And everybody's hugging and oh my God, it was great.
That's such a cool vibe. I love that.
People didn't even know each other.
I
know. Giving hugs and it was wonderful.
That's great to be among a big group of people that just see something exciting happen. I mean, I love that. It's great.
Our seating area, we put up a sign that said, no political bullshit. Just Stay out there. We're happy.
I would be an aggressive move to show up to the Twins game and be like, you know who I'm going to vote for. I'd be like, what?
Well, they do. It's like, Jesus. You watch the news lately? People are getting crazier by the minute.
That's why the Twins are so fun right
Absolutely.
now. You just got to like
We need
stay
the
in that
Twins.
vibe.
We need the Twins right now because no one's happy and everything. Yeah, those far edges, man. You people have gotten to you are insane.
Yeah,
I
well,
just got to tell you.
yeah, they're not allowed at the Twins game.
No, yeah, that's right. No far righties or
allowed.
far lefties allowed at the Twins game. You're out.
Yeah.
Did you hear me?
You hear me?
Okay, most popular Halloween candy. You guys big into Halloween candy?
Heck yeah.
Okay, I'll get my no.
Like, I mean,
What?
like it's fine. Like it's candy. Like, but it's not like, oh, I'm so excited.
I love a little piece of something. Like, just give me a little piece. And that's exactly what Halloween candy is. Like, what is your favorite Halloween candy?
Do I have one? I don't know. M&Ms.
That's pretty good. I do
like
like a
M&Ms.
good
So I'm just saying
M&M.
candy in general. We're not talking about like candy corn or like those
no,
little
no.
pumpkin
No,
things.
we're talking about what you pass out. See, you don't
No.
pass out candy. You don't get it. You
No,
haven't been a kid in a while.
I
You
am
give out
aware.
toothbrushes. You're that.
Oh.
house.
I am
Yeah.
aware of how Halloween works, and you
He
hand out
lives-
little bite-sized pieces of candy. This is not a new concept.
Yeah, but like, why would that not be the first
Because
thing?
the list said Halloween candy. Like, are we talking about like specific spooky season? It only comes out during Halloween type candy.
I guess we're gonna find that out.
Almond Joy.
Come me again, bro.
Almond
Oh my
Joy.
God.
Oh God. I love
Actually,
Yeah, is that yours?
people hate on me so much because Almond Joy is like
Why?
a top tier candy.
Top tier.
It's so good.
It's so.
I
Oh my
mean,
God,
I love
AJ.
coconut. I love like the
No.
almond. Oh
Me
my God.
too.
You can crush them.
I crush them into cereal sometimes.
Oh,
It's rough days. It's not a good day when I'm
That's
crushing into
interesting.
cereal.
that's a good interesting. I say interesting a lot. That's a good interesting.
Is it though?
Anyways.
How you don't like Almond Joy?
I mean, I can't remember the last time I had one, but if I'm, you guys
Oh
want
my
to,
God.
you guys want to come at me for my candy choices, and you're gonna first one you throw out is Almond Joy. Like, take a seat.
I
okay?
love that there's a majority Almond Joy right now, and we can just like attack you.
This is
Yeah.
this is a
Never
first for me.
happened. Never happened.
What are those horrible things you come in a straw and you'd pinch it and it was kind of
Pixie
like
stick.
sticks.
pixie sticks? Those are hideous.
Those
You
abs-
probably love those. don't
No.
You probably love those. Look at you. You love them.
He
Yeah,
loves
that's just
Pixie
me. I just
sticks.
love just getting a face full of pixie stick dust.
That's you.
Just yeah.
I look
You
at you and I
almost
go,
said pixie dick sussed. I
yeah,
heard
you
that.
did. That's what I remember.
This is a family show. I would never say something.
Whose
like that.
family?
Yeah, whose family is that?
Anyway,
I love this discussion.
to the
So
candy
you,
list.
You don't like
Almond Joy,
Joy.
guys. If you're gonna like make
Yeah.
fun of me because
What a
you don't hand out candy on Halloween, Almond
Do you
Joy is
hand out
barely
candy at Halloween?
No, I'm
See?
not. What,
AJC,
no.
I knew
the
he
most
did
I
it.
would do for Halloween is put a bucket of candy on like outside my door, but I'm
Don't
not
do that.
opening the door.
Kath and I did that once. The first guy took the whole bowl.
Well, that's fine. Then you ruined it for everybody else. But I'm
You
done.
could just put out an empty bowl at this point.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, but then it looks like you're the one who stiffed the kids. When the first guy takes your bowl of candy and there's nothing there, it looks like you stiffed the kid.
No, everyone assumes that someone stole it all. So if
Yeah.
you just put out an empty bowl, they'll be like, "Oh, someone got to it
and
first."
to be honest with you, I would just leave all my house
That's
lights
nice.
off anyway. Like I'm not
Oh
trying to.
my God.
I know. I knew Tevin was going to be like this.
Okay, you ready?
You can't be bothered.
You're the mean one, Mr. Grinch.
That's fine.
You are
Mr.
Grinchy.
That's
Kevin.
fine. Guys, it's whatever.
Grinch.
I don't need to open the door and be like, "Oh, what are you for Halloween?"
It's
No,
like
no, no.
literally my favorite thing in the
Okay,
world.
That's fine.
I
Teach
love
your
when the kids come in the yard, and I'm excited to talk to them about all their costumes.
way. Yeah.
You know why he doesn't like it? Because he opened the door. Oh, what are you? No, I'm actually a cop here to arrest you, you pain in the ass.
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
Yeah, is that
You
what
got
happened?
arrested for being
I
a
Did
don't
pain
that
know.
in the
scenario?
ass?
Did that exact scenario
I don't know
happen,
what that has to
Tevin?
do with that. Yes. No.
Yes. No. Maybe.
No. Halloween it's a whatever holiday. Like
I
It's
love
literally my
Halloween.
favorite holiday.
okay.
Not my
It's-
favorite, but I love it.
I'm happy
What's
for
your
you.
favorite?
Christmas.
Yeah.
I
love
love
Christmas.
Halloween.
And I will go all out for Christmas. Like I'm wearing onesies, I'm decorating the whole house.
But you
like,
don't have
all
any
that.
love for Halloween, which
No.
is like nice because there's no gift obligation. Like I'm not stressed about who got what, where,
Well, apparently
whatever.
I'm obligated to give you candy.
Yeah, you're obligated to go to Costco, or I will buy you a Costco bag and just hand out one candy per kid. But nobody would come to your door because you've already set a precedent that you guys are lame.
And you're
Perfect.
mean. You're mean too. That's the other part.
I'm excited to see what Minnesota's candy is for their state.
Oh, because they pick one every year. I didn't even know that, do they?
So you had that list you were talking about, the most popular candy.
oh, you mean
by
in this
state.
story? Okay, well, I'll get to that right now.
Perfect.
That's not a problem at all.
Okay.
Even with the Grinch over here to my
I
left.
know. What a lame guy.
I hate all happiness.
Yeah, grow up, Tevin.
Yeah,
I'm sure
Tevin.
there's some. Where's Derek DeHart? He's on my side with this.
Nobody's on your side.
There's got to be at least one listener.
Derek-
Somebody please defend
Derek
me.
is absolutely an Almond Joy guy.
Almond Joy guy.
All right, I might be jumping on Tevin's side.
See,
I just saw what Minnesota's favorite candy is. If it is what I think, it's terrible.
Ew, it's not even like it's like
it's probably like Peeps or something.
no, it'd be something I would
It's
consider
worse.
like cleaning my mouth with,
Exactly.
but not enjoying.
Like mouthwash.
Kind of. It's close.
The Listerine strips.
Pretty much. Pretty much it.
No, you're pretty close,
Yeah.
actually.
You're not far, which is
All
so
right, well,
depressing.
let's go through this list.
Okay, here are the top 10. Snickers is 10. Hershey Mini Bar is number 9. Candy Corn 8. Hershey's Kisses number 7. Number 6 Starburst. Number 5 Sour Patch Kids. Number 4 Skittle. I almost mispronounced that because Hot Tamales is next around instead of Kittles. Or, never mind. Hot Tamales is number 3. M&M's number 2. Number 1 is Reese's Peanut Butter Cups, which most people would agree, right?
Yeah.
And that's for the whole United States. right?
Yeah.
Because I have Minnesota's right now if you need it.
Yeah, why don't you read Minnesota's because I got it here, but I want to hear you. Oh my God!
It's
what was it?
okay.
What was number 1 on that list?
Reese's.
Reese's.
I thought you said that was number 2.
Does anybody pay attention?
I
to the
just said-
show
There's just a lot
ever?
going. There's a lot going on.
Okay, here's
right now.
we're gonna have a class on how to pay attention.
I knew
You
the
two
answer.
are a disaster.
I knew
thought
the
you said
answer.
number
Never
2.
know what I
Reese's
said.
Pieces.
I just said Reese's. I knew the answer.
I thought you said number
He
2.
dropped the
Anyway,
ball on that.
Yeah, he dropped it. Let's make that very
But
clear. I was
between the
listening.
two of you,
It's not a good day for me
disaster.
on the
I do
show.
not want to loop into Tevin's.
You're not becoming like the Archie Bunker of this morning show.
I knew it was Reese's. I was
You're a
listening.
disaster.
sorry, I was doing a word search.
Oh, okay.
Okay, ready?
Oh.
Here's Minnesota's top 3. We're gonna
Ish.
start with third is Skittles.
Ish.
Did you get that
That's-
Skittles,
yes,
Tevin?
That's
Okay, cool.
that's fine. I'm on board with Skittles.
Tootsie Pops is number 2.
Only if it's like the flavored ones, like the purple and
Aren't
blue.
they all
ones.
flavored?
You want
Well,
the
no,
gum
like
or
the-
do you
no,
oh,
like
Tootsie
the-
Pops is only Tootsies. They're all flavored.
No, like okay, fine. Never mind. I was talking about the Tootsie Roll things.
Yeah, Tootsie Pops are different. They're the
That's
sucker.
not even
I'm just
close.
done
What
contributing
is
to the
wrong
show.
with
You
you?
literally-
I'm gonna come back after the next spot.
Jesus.
It's just not my morning.
Hot tamales is number 1.
No way.
Hot
I know.
tamales.
Hot tamales. Terrible.
Literally, I would use
I'm-
that to like if
That's not
I had
true.
like a hot date and was like, I need to clean my breath. Like that's the only time I would eat that.
I've
Oh,
never
what are you,
seen
a Grinch?
somebody. No, I've just never seen somebody like
Eat them.
eat them.
Yeah.
There's nobody. It's nobody's
Terrible.
first choice.
Nobody's first choice.
This
I've
seems
never
like a lie.
I've never seen somebody buy them. I've
Huh.
never seen them. I don't even know
How
how,
are they in
exist.
business?
I don't know.
I'm right there with you. I think hot tamales are terrible.
Well, who would eat them?
Actually, look at it. They got Snickers and they got, of course, Reese's peanut butter cups. Oh, they got the little silver wrapped little chocolate drops that
Your-
Hershey does. One of those
Oh,
Hershey
Hershey,
Kisses.
yep.
Yes.
Hershey Kiss. That's good. Yeah, most of it's Sour Patch, Skittles, hot tamales, ish, all of that. Ugh.
What? How is this happening? That hot tamales in the whole United States is third, and
By
it's
the way-
1 in Minnesota.
By the way, whoever made this list spelled tamale wrong.
They did.
In the national news, tamale, Tameles.
Tameles.
Yeah,
Tameles.
they spelled it right in the Minnesota list.
Did they?
Yeah, but not in the little picture.
They spelled it wrong.
I don't believe any of this.
I don't either.
Yeah, sound like a bunch of Halloween Grinches, if you ask me.
You know, actually, my 4 favorite ones. No, actually, one's separated by candy corn, which I don't like. It's too sweet. You got Snickers, you got Reese's peanut butter cups, you got M&Ms right in a row, and then one left of that after you get past the candy corn would be the Kisses. So actually, 4 out of 5 there at the top are pretty good.
That's
The
not
rest of
bad.
them you can have.
Maybe like hot tamales sneaks in because all those have to compete with
Hot
each other.
tamales, you mean?
Hot tamales sneak in because it's like all those compete with each other. Because if you like one of those,
Yeah,
you probably like
that's
all
true.
of them. And then there's that one kid who's like, oh, I'll take a hot tamale because I'm allergic to everything else. And we're like, boo, boo.
I love this. Candy corn is back in the top 10. Oh, well.
Is it though?
Yeah, is it? I hate candy corn.
I feel like
I don't hate it, but it's
I feel like this like study was funded by hot tamales and candy corn
Yeah.
because it does not feel real.
Oh, and when you scroll down on this page, you're right. They spell tamale correctly after the tamale.
And listen to this, the top costumes fro pets are pumpkins and hot dogs. They're doing a lot. This is a lame article that nobody spell checked.
Well, how about the Halloween candy quick facts? You want to hear those?
I know one of them is the top costumes fro pets are pumpkins and hot dogs.
Might be. You're right. It's number 3. Number 1, 172 million Americans celebrate Halloween. Where's the other 160 million?
Yeah, where you at, brah?
You don't celebrate Halloween. What kind of crabby ass are you?
Yeah, Tevin, where are you at?
Guys,
Yeah,
Halloween
Tevin.
is a very overrated
How
holiday.
is it overrated?
There's no gift giving obligation. It's up there with
No,
the 4th of
that
July.
doesn't mean
It's
that
just
doesn't
have
matter.
fun.
It does. It's just
just
a
fun.
blah holiday.
It's
Right.
just have fun and like get to interact with kids.
You know what? I am the only person to this day, well, Mike Devitt and me, because Mike Devitt was our neighbor. We're in first grade. We're trick-or-treating, and we got robbed.
Ooh.
You ever heard anybody else getting robbed trick-or-treating?
Ooh, that's rough.
No. I should hate Halloween, but I love it. Because I think, I tried to stand up to a 13-year-old when I was 5, and it didn't work out too well.
Well, and they stole your candy.
Stole both of our candies.
It's a lot of hours of walking around.
I think he stole a lot of kids' candy.
That's rough.
Yeah, he was a prick. I wonder.
What a terrible person you are to steal candy on Halloween from kids in
But
costumes.
you know what the best part of that is?
What?
He's probably dead at this point. Yeah, prick.
Yeah,
Right?
he lives a pretty high risk life. I have a feeling he hasn't made it very far.
Well, I don't know about high risk when you're robbing 5-year-olds.
Yeah, but at that age, he's robbing people.
Think about that, though. That was back in the day when 2 5-year-olds could walk around at night in North Minneapolis and nobody bothered us until that prick robbed us.
Nobody bothered you until they did.
Until they did. But I'm telling you, they didn't harass us or any of that stuff.
Yeah.
Which I think is good.
I think it's great.
Until the robber jumped out. And by the way, he was in full costume too. So you never knew who he was.
Do you remember what he was dressed up as?
He would, as a robber. He was wearing the bandit mask and the whole deal. He's dressed as a robber. I'm not kidding.
That is hilarious.
Really committed to the bit.
Yeah,
He
right?
He really was.
He was possessed by the costume.
Wasn't he the greatest? Like 6 months later, he died of a heart attack, being such a fat bastard from eating all that candy.
I'm telling you, he lives a very scandalous life. He didn't make it very far.
I think you're probably right. All right, ladies and gentlemen, news brought to you. But that was all. That was the best report that Chris Eggert's ever done, I thought.
Agreed. Honestly, we should get him a raise.
We really should. News brought to you by Mr. Money Talk, Josh Arnold. Call Josh for your free 48-minute financial evaluation. I want to thank Josh Arnold again. Catherine and I we were invited by Josh, went to the game with him and met a bunch of really, really nice people. A lot of big listeners to the show. There's a lovely young woman who she's a huge fan of the KQ Morning Show, and she didn't know because they lied and said that I retired. But she is now she said, I did not know, and I will be listening from now on. So
Nice.
Which is really nice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's love. What's her name? Do you remember?
I don't know if she wants me to say it.
Well, Victoria. I'm just giving her a fake
Victoria'd
one.
be good.
Thanks for listening.
No doubt about it. It's how life should be, don't you think?
I agree.
Okay, quickly, I'll run through these quick candy facts. 172 million celebrate Halloween. 32% of all Halloween purchases are made online. I didn't know, I guess. Although, why would you buy your Halloween candy online? You go to the grocery store and go, oh, there are the bags.
I mean, if you're going to buy it in bulk, and also like the online stats, everything is done more online now. Like we can all get over that. We don't have to list that as
Yeah, I
fun
suppose
facts
you're
anymore.
right. When you're right, you're right. Is that what you're saying?
I tend to be.
The top costumes for pets are pumpkin and hot dog, as Brittany already pointed out. Among those who celebrate Halloween, 96% will purchase candy. What about you other 4% pricks?
That's Tevin.
Way to go, Tevin.
It's
You're
not-
horrible.
unless you have kids
No, I
Oh,
get
you
it.
know what?
or are in
Oh,
college.
shut up.
It's
I
not that great
totally.
of a holiday.
AJ, do you
holiday.
hand out candy?
Yeah, we do the just giant bowl, and then
Yeah.
we kind of take turns, open the door. Here you go. Oh, what a ghost. Oh. And then
Oh, I love it.
and then it's like, all right, see you later. And then you just shut the door and sit down.
I love handing out candy way before I had kids. My kid doesn't care. She's 1.
Right.
But I love handing out. I love when the kids come into the yard.
It's the greatest.
It's good for you.
Actually, I misread that line. It says, among those who celebrate Halloween, 96% will purchase candy. The other 4% are just like Tevin Pittman.
Like Tevin Pittman,
That's what it
like
says right
Debbie
here.
Downer. I hope you do die on Halloween and become a ghost.
Jesus.
Holy Christ.
That sounds like a great movie idea.
Right.
You've
Somebody
only got 26 days to live.
I'm gonna haunt the
I didn't
hell
say
out of
this
you.
Halloween. Hey, I didn't say this Halloween. I seen like when you do die, it's on Halloween and you're like cursed to live it every day.
That's true.
Well, let's get the rights to those movies that we were talking to AJ. You're talking about.
They will spend about $31.93 on average. Most Halloween shopping is done in the first 2 weeks of October. In Oregon, the full-size candy bars are the norm for trick-or-treaters to receive. Ooh, let's move to Oregon. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Overall, Halloween spending is expected to be between, holy Christ, $12.2 billion.
Whoa.
Good God. And over 50% of parents stash some Halloween candy to enjoy later in the year. Yeah, we might have done that with the kids.
Oh, my mom went through and picked through all of our candy, and she'd hide like the quote unquote good pieces for her, so she would have something to snack.
Of course.
On.
It's mom tax.
I never met your mother, but I love her. That's all I have to say. We have to take a quick break. Be right back in a couple of seconds, ladies and gentlemen. You all have helped support My Pillow and their employees in these tough economic times. Mike Lindell knows this, continues to give back to listeners with deals on his most popular products. You've heard me recently speak about the My Slippers, the Giza Sheets, My Pillow 2.0, and more. Great news. The My Pillow 6-pack bath towel sets are back in stock. The proprietary technology makes them extremely absorbent, yet still provides that soft feel that you look for in a towel. The set comes with 2 bath towels, 2 hand towels, 2 washcloths. Regular price is $79.98, and for a limited time, you can get this 6-pack towel set for only $39.99 with promo code TOM. That's a 50% savings. So go to MyPillow.com, use promo code TOM to save 50% on the MyPillow 6-pack towel sets. That is just $39.99 for a set. This deal will not last long. Enter promo code TOM for this special and many more.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw & Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now, stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw & Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw & Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw & Bryant.
Why should your business bank with North American Banking Company? Here's Landon and Gavin Miller of D&B Plating.
I've always been impressed with their speed of answers to our questions, and that has allowed us to expand and capitalize on opportunities in the market.
North American Banking Company has never made us feel like a number. They've always treated us as a partner.
For more information about North American Banking Company, go to nabankco.com or stop by any one of their Twin Cities locations. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack, but not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Little news, little information. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, baby. We're just kind of talking about Halloween candy. So if we talked about the fact that, what is it again that's supposed, hot tamales.
Yeah.
Or hot tamales, as it says on their website. I don't understand how anybody could like those. Do you have, I got to believe that M&M's would probably be my favorite thing to get because it's packaged. Nobody's touched it.
Yeah.
I like that.
I like Almond Joys first, Kit Kats, and then I can go kind of wild on third. I can go all over the board. What's your favorite?
Favorite candies? I mean, I always enjoy like the Snickers, like Milky Ways are good. Thumbs down. Who do you thumbs down?
You don't like Snickers?
They're just okay.
Skittles
They're
are good.
just okay. Oh, I would not do Skittles.
I hate Skittles.
Your number one candy is Almond Joy. So just sit down.
You're in an Almond Joy camp, buddy. Watch your back. Almond jump.
Why me?
Ain't gonna be too much Almond Joy for you after we're done.
Oh, God.
Some almond sad.
AJ, give us your top 3.
Number 1 is Snickers. It's the perfect candy bar.
Okay.
Close second is Almond Joy, and then it's like a toss up between like a peanut M&M or like a Reese's peanut butter cup type thing.
All right.
See, now you're talking.
Got the lay of the land of everybody.
Pretty good. You want me to do this? They're gonna boo. I guarantee I'm gonna get booed across America for my third
M&Ms
pick.
are solid.
No, my third pick. If you would be quiet for a second and pay attention.
Okay.
Till I finish.
All right.
See what I'm saying? Non-stop.
He's
Didn't know
trying
this was
to
the Britney show.
He was trying to turn it. He's been on the shit list for so long. He's trying to jump on this.
He's jumping right in there.
So M&Ms are your third.
Okay, you guys have to pronounce the word right, by the way. It's not pronounced almond. It's pronounced almond.
Nobody says almond, and I have fought with you so many times about this.
What people say. It's pronounced almond.
Regional.
Is it the Almond Brothers or the Almond Brothers?
That's spelled differently. It's ALLMAN.
Oh, is it really?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Also,
Nice argument.
I was so excited for AJ to be right.
No, okay. Here's the thing about almond or almond.
I love that so much.
I didn't know that.
He tried to attack me and I busted his ass. It was wonderful.
But here's the thing.
What?
It's regional. You have to
It's
accept.
not regional.
You have to accept that in this region, we don't say almond, we say almond.
What else do we say that's way off the mark? Because we got a handful of
We have a lot.
Right.
Like when you get in a fight with saying the word pussy and you're saying that it means coward.
It means coward.
It's not. It's regional.
You can't change the meaning of a word or the pronunciation of a word just because you feel like it.
It's not me. It's a masses.
It's you. It's 100% you.
Wait, what else would that mean?
What?
See?
It has multiple meanings. Like a word can have multiple meanings.
Yeah.
No, I get that.
Like just because the slang took it from its
when he
original
says,
meaning to
when Tom
something
says
else,
you're being a pussy, what do you think?
it means you're being like a coward. You're scared.
Correct.
You're
But from what root word?
from what root word? I don't know.
Touchdown.
From pussy.
It's
I don't.
laminate.
It's pronounced
Oh,
root
okay.
word too, by the way. Touchdown.
Yeah.
Are you gonna give us
you're
your top
wrong
3?
in this scenario.
I'm holding
We
Brittany.
up my
fought. I
touchdown
fought
for
with
the
so
rest
many
of the
people
day.
that have agreed with me on this that it is regional, and you have to accept that.
You fought with people who have agreed with you.
Yeah, that I've started. You've even
That-
agreed with me at times.
Why would you argue with someone who agrees with you?
Well, they eventually did.
Oh,
I think they just
you
got
bet.
tired of talking in circles with you, and they're like, "Fine, you're right."
I love that.
I don't know if our email's working because I'm not getting anything, but I know I'd have 45 emails people agreed with.
Why
me.
would the equipment ever work?
Good
I don't think
point.
it's
one
necessarily.
day.
It's not that it's regional. It still means the same thing no matter where you go. People just use it differently in a different context.
Somebody hasn't been to any broadcasting classes here.
Oh, broadcasting classes like
Oh
they
my
know what the
gosh.
hell they're
But
talking
regional
about.
means it accepts it as a region, as a masses. So the masses have decided that almond is not almond here; it's almond, and you
Oh,
have to
I was
be
talking about
at-
when he said what pussy means coward. Like that.
There's
the
a root
definition is the
word.
definition.
No, so the root word for pussy, like you would never walk around going, "It's from pusillanimous." Like you would never say that.
Right.
Well, that's not
Okay.
the word, but
Well, say it then.
pusillanimous.
Okay. And
So like you didn't know that because that's not regional to you.
Regional.
what is that? Has nothing to do with shortening it up.
It's not
And-
the origin. That's not what we're referencing when we say it.
Okay, I guess I have no idea what point you're trying to get across. Anyway, back to
That's my life now.
What is your top 3 candy?
Oh, you guys are gonna go. I can hear it now.
I don't know.
Let's see. My favorite candy in the world. That's tough because it's the Snickers, Almond Joy, all the stuff you guys are talking
Yeah.
about. So I'll go with candy bars are my first 2 favorite.
Okay.
Not all candy bars, but that. Number 3 is black licorice.
Yeah, I know. That's terrible.
People hate black licorice. I just love it.
It's not a good sign when something that you eat, you can't eat a certain amount because it's poisonous.
It's not poisonous. Maybe that cheap shit you buy.
Isn't it? I
Maybe
thought,
that's
no,
what
I'm pretty sure like that's
was it,
licorice is poison.
how do you pronounce it? Anise?
Anise candy.
Yeah, anise is, there's a certain amount of anise that you eat. I know. But
So
it,
I'm
Anus,
12.
anus.
I'm 12.
You are 12, so you're going with anus. I heard you.
but
thinking.
like, I'm pretty sure it's poisonous in certain levels. Like, that's not a good sign.
How?
It just is like, I don't know how.
You buying that?
It says if you're over 40 and have a history of heart disease or high blood pressure or both, eating more than 2 ounces of black licorice a day for at least 2 weeks could lead to a potentially serious health problem.
See?
Okay, so yeah, if you only eat black licorice for like 2 weeks.
No, there's something in it that like you have to be careful about consuming. That's when I go, should we be eating this? But I know you love it.
And when I smile, I have a nice gray smile because of black licorice. Now we're talking.
It contains glyceric acid, which like causes swelling in your blood vessels.
So that not the red licorice, just the black licorice.
Just I think it's like due to the coloring and stuff like that.
No, the coloring of it. Okay.
Well, also just licorice in general isn't.
Yeah, if you're macking on licorice every day, let's reevaluate.
No
things.
one is saying I do it every day. I just really like black licorice. That's all I'm saying.
The essential oil of anise is classified within the group of drugs and narcotics. It can cause neuronal poisoning in the presence of body problems such as headache, seizures, or intoxication symptoms that can cause physical symptoms such as muscle numbness as a result of cerebral congestion.
I get that from working with you guys.
I knew you were going to say that. Even though I was reading it, I go, he's going to go, sounds like working with you is what I thought you were going to say in my head.
What I'm going to say. You're out of the mix.
You're out
That's all I'm saying. So what else is happening?
Well, I thought you should read that one story because you were asking about it. The couples that meet on dating sites are less happy in marriage. I thought that would be interesting.
I do have that here. What the hell did I do with it? I will scroll down and find it. No, it's not there. Where the hell did it go?
The Tom's News Stories.
Yeah, I'm in Tom's News Stories, but I can't find it.
It's the third one in Daily Trending.
Daily top trending.
Yep.
I have COVID, I have Halloween candy, and I have OnlyFans. Oh, it was covered up. Yeah. That's why. Okay. Here, no, okay. The couples that meet on dating apps.
Yep.
Okay, we'll get that done. Yeah, when I had another story open and it covered that up. That's why I couldn't find it.
Maurice?
I just learned something today. That's good. That these websites are a massive pain in the ass. That's what I've learned.
That's fine.
Love.
The more you know.
I like it. The more you know. Love Actually. It says APP-TUALLY. Love Actually.
Love. Yep.
Couples who meet on dating apps are unhappier in their marriages than people who meet in person, study finds. First of all, do they have lists of people who met online?
Yeah.
So there are lists of people. So if you met online, your name's on a list somewhere.
No, I think it's just like because eHarmony, when that was in its heyday, kind of went through a scandal where they threw out a stat like 3 out of every 5 couples meets online. So they think like this article probably just reached out to like Tinder, Bumble. Hey, how many users do you have or matches?
It could be self-selection too.
Yeah.
Self-selection.
Yeah, like they could decide that they could fill this out and say how they met kind of thing.
Oh, I see. Yeah. I suppose that is true. Well, dating apps were once seen as taboo. They're now one of the most popular ways for couples to connect, whether it's Tinder, Bumble, or even singles with food allergies. Singles with food allergies.
That's really hot.
It is. Figures show that a third of marriages now begin online, but a new study suggests that if you want a happy marriage, swiping right isn't the best way to go. Well, but I got to be honest with you. It wasn't on, Tinder or Bumble or any of that stuff, but both my kids met their husband and wife online.
Yeah.
That's very common these days, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I did not know that, but whatever. Researchers from Arizona State University in the USA say that couples who meet on dating apps are unhappier in their marriages than people who meet in their real world. The results support online dating effects, particularly by showing that people who meet in online dating report different levels of satisfaction, stability than those who meet offline, a researcher said. I have a question for you about that, though. I'm trying to think. Now, in my family, we had several divorces, my brothers and sisters.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I think like 5. Troy was never married, so he didn't get divorced. Catherine and I, and about half of the people in my family have been married more than once.
Okay.
Is that pretty average?
Yeah, I think so. I think you actually are hitting the exact average, right? I don't know what I thought it was like 48% of marriages end in divorce, but maybe it's more or less now.
49.3.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
There you have 49. Really, half of marriages end in divorce now. I did not know that. How long has that been going on?
I think for a while.
Yeah, I feel like that's been kind of the stat for as long as I can remember.
Is there a because I mean Catherine insists you came this close a couple times. That now she says that.
Yeah.
I mean, I believe her.
Oh,
whoa.
here
Oh.
we go.
Why would you? I mean, whatever.
Why would you put up with
Why
me?
would you lie? No, I say that's a weird thing to lie about, but I'm sure she just had her days where she's like,
Why? Why do you break down why she feel that way?
Yeah.
All right. Well, welcome to my TED Talk. No.
This is when you start slowly backing towards the door.
Yeah. So can somebody play that light, happy music?
Ooh, speaking of that, I'm glad you brought that up. Last night I had several people come up to me at the stadium and goes, I got the light happy music on there. I love the fact you got that. Now you got to bring back the cash call. We could find that online easily, couldn't we?
You're gonna have to share with me what that is because I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah,
I'm
it's
not
true.
sure
You're
I'm
too
aware.
young to know what that is. The WJJY Brainerd, Minnesota cash call. It is from literally 30 years ago.
It's very funny.
It's hilarious.
Okay.
It's called the Brainerd Cash Call. And if you can find it, people want us to start playing it once in a while because they said, we really miss that. It is, I'm telling you, AJ. No, you've heard it, haven't you? Maybe not.
I mean, if I heard it, I might recognize it, but I don't.
No, you'd remember it if you, don't you think if they heard it,
Oh,
they'd
absolutely.
remember it?
Yeah.
Because it's this guy named Ken Thomas. It's a real guy.
So funny.
And he's going around calling people. Do you know how much money's in the WJJY cash call account? And every one of them's got the kind of, I'm just mama here alone, you know. They all got the big Minnesota accent.
Yeah,
you got to find it. We got to play it today. That's all there is to it. We got to find it. We'll track it down. In any case, what are we back to arguing about?
We're talking about marriages and online dating and why they're less happy.
Why? But why are people just less happy? Or has it always been this way?
I don't know. I think the article, does it touch on it?
I can read it and find out. That's for sure. The first ever incarnation of a dating app can be traced back to 1995 when Match.com was first launched. Since then, thousands of dating apps have taken over the online space with an estimated 21.9% of people in the U.S. now use it. 22% of people use it. That's pretty amazing. In their new study, the team set out to understand whether or not meeting online affects marital satisfaction. The researchers enlisted 923 married participants who were surveyed about their marriage satisfaction and stability. So that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Stability is always nice, don't you think?
I love stability.
Around half, 49.3% of the participants had met their partner online through dating apps, including Grindr, Tinder, or Bumble. The other 50.7% had met offline, including through work, in college, or in a bar or a club. So I met Catherine through work. She was working at my attorney's office, and that's how I met her. To assess their marriage satisfaction, the participants were asked to answer questions including how well does your spouse meet your needs? And in general, how satisfied are you with your marriage? How would you answer those? Okay, I'm going to ask you guys this. Uh-oh.
No, I'm just laughing because what is this, 1 out of 10? What kind of question? You can't answer these on air.
Why not?
Because it's...
Okay, you guys hate your spouses. I just learned that just now.
First off, we're the only two married people.
That's true.
Brittany hates her spouse. Yeah.
I love my spouse.
I have a question for you. And you know what? This is a depressing story, so I don't read any more of it anyway. But I swear to God, Catherine and I have been together 43 years. In July, we'll have been married for 40 years. I love her more now than I did before. Isn't that how it's supposed to go?
Yeah.
As you know each other and been together longer and longer, shouldn't you love them more, not less?
Yeah, and you love them in different layers. Like I love Justin, and then we got a house together, and it was fun to see him do that stuff. And then we had a baby, and like watching him be a dad, I love him in a different way. Like I love him. I love watching him interact with Gogo. So yeah, like I think there's more intricacies. It's also harder in some ways too. Like real stressors come in, and it's not like fun dating anymore. So like I think there's like this, you get more attached, but also you take on more responsibilities too. Like,
well, I'll give you an example. So last night we were with a bunch of people watching the Twins game, hanging out. Catherine didn't know 98% of them. She was going around everyone laughing and joking. I love that about her.
Yeah.
That she doesn't stay back and just, I don't really want to talk to anybody. She approaches everybody. The hell is your deal?
Right.
I love that about her.
Which, especially in her situation, because most of the time when you go out places, people are naturally going to talk to you more so than trying to talk to her. And so if she were more reserved, it'd probably be a miserable existence for her.
I think you're absolutely right. I think she had more fun last night than I did, for Christ's sake. And I had a ball. But no, that's the kind of stuff I love. I love when Catherine is happy.
That's amazing. That brings you joy. That's great. I
don't know why people like to make other people miserable. I don't get it.
I don't get it. I don't know. And I think that if you're at a party and you see your significant other being social and it pisses you off,
I love it.
And there's something wrong with you. There's some mental problems you're having. Of course. I love seeing Justin thrive.
So are there people that get pissed off if their spouse talks to someone else?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Like a married couple?
Yeah. I mean, married, dating, like I think in any situation, there definitely are like guys, for example, that will see their girl if she's going out like with some friends or something, like you're going to wear that. Or even if she's going out they're going out together, they'll be like, oh, you can't dress like that because I don't want guys looking at you, or I don't want, like there's a lot of insecure people with their own insecurities that are like try to control their significant other.
Okay, I have to ask you this because you're the only woman in the room. Because I've noticed this over the last few years. As time goes by, women are getting more attractive every year. Why is that?
Okay, we do have to acknowledge that, like, I think the big aspect is clothes.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Clothes used to be like people used to just wear like whatever hung off their body. Like I remember like some of the outfits.
True.
Like my grandma would wear were like straight up moo-moos. She's just walking around the house in moo-moos. And she's like my mom's age. My mom just be wearing leggings and cute outfits. My mom always been looking good. And so I think a lot of it has to do with clothes. I think people are wearing clothes that look good on them.
Yeah, that's probably true.
And makeup. Like you go on YouTube and type in like makeup tutorial and you'll get somebody that takes like me and turns me into this beautiful woman because makeup is a hell of a drug. Or nowadays they've got like all the surgeries and stuff like everybody's getting BBLs and waist this and boobies this and it's
waist this and boobies this.
Yeah, there's I don't know the official terms, but there's a lot. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you can do if you're not happy with your appearance.
Yeah, no, I do think because I Minnesota isn't that like they do some little tweaks here and there, but we're not a huge like because if you go to some
like
place,
LA or something,
you can see there's like their faces look different.
Yep.
But I do think it's just kind of like even like haircuts are different than women used to hit a certain age and they'd like have this short haircut or this like short up here, long in the back kind of vibe.
Oh yeah.
Like I think it's just access to better stuff, access to knowing what looks good on your body.
What was that called again with the short on top, long on the sides? That was
the mullet? Is that
mullet.
Right?
Yeah, there you go. It was a
party
mullet.
in the front or no, business in the front, party in the back.
Yeah, there you go. So that's a mullet.
Yeah. Gogo kind of has a mullet right now because her hair growth is at that point.
Yeah. But girls don't really rock mullets. I thought that was more of a guy thing, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Girls rock mullets sometimes.
Did they?
When?
No, I mean they sometimes do like a little punk rock moment.
I guess, yeah. Not as common though.
No. You think people are trying too hard with all that stuff?
No.
You don't think it's trying too hard?
No. I think it's fun when you see people who know how to do hair and makeup and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm. There was a woman that I met, I guess about a month and a half ago. She was wearing a they used to call, I can't call it a Dago tee because that's what it was called in my neighborhood. But what are those called now?
Just a t-shirt?
It's the short little straps.
It's tank
like
top?
the spaghetti strap tank top thing?
Is that just a tank top?
Yeah.
Because it has no arms on it. It just has
tank top, yeah.
So they call it a tank.
It's not like the undershirt you're talking about.
Yeah, it's an undershirt.
Like what they used to call the beater shirts.
Wife beater.
Yeah.
Yeah,
like
that's what I'm talking about. Yes.
Yeah, we can't call them that anymore, but
can't call them a Dago tee either.
No.
Probably not.
I think you just call it a tank top.
Yeah.
If I was grabbing a shirt like that, I would be grabbing a tank top.
The technical term is an A shirt. Like if you go to the store and look at the package, I believe it says an A shirt.
I did not know that. And now I forgot what the hell I was even going to talk about.
A girl was wearing a tank top
a month ago.
Oh, yeah. So I ran into this woman wearing one of those tank tops, like sleeveless tank tops, all the rest of it. And I talked to her for a bit, and then I asked her, because she literally, you could see kind of not really through the shirt, but you could discern what was behind the shirt. This woman was tattooed from the bottom of her neck to the tops of her feet.
Yeah.
How long does that take?
How much money?
How much money does that cost?
A lot of money, a lot of pain. Like I have a friend that's a tattoo artist, and that would take him.
Do you have any tattoos?
Yeah, I've got a couple tattoos. I'm working on a little sleeve on the side.
Really?
Look, your prison number's not a tattoo.
Well, that's different. That was a brand. But
was a brand.
No, yeah, like I don't know. Tattoos are super cool. I think. Like it's just they look cool. Like depending on the person. Like if you don't.
Hey,
like
Jay,
tattoos,
do you have
whatever.
tattoos?
No.
Yeah.
I have enough hard time like making a decision to begin with.
Yeah.
And then when something like that's like it's permanent, it's on you forever, it's got to be like really meaningful or have some type of specific purpose in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So why the whole body? Why would you tattoo your whole body?
I think people get tattoos. It's addicting. Anyone I know who gets them,
Really?
they just keep going and going. Yeah.
Even though it hurts like a sumbitch.
Yeah, they love them.
Yeah, and well, now they have like the numbing cream where
they
you
do,
can, so it doesn't really hurt at all. And then, but I've heard a couple stories of people working on like leg sleeves or like full body type of tattoos where they'll actually go under, like they'll get anesthesia, so that way they can have multiple tattoo artists like tattoo their whole body, and then they just wake up.
The trauma that goes on in your body, because your body's going to wake up and the reaction it's going to have is going to be intense. And I know you'll be fine, but like, oh my God, like what does your body even think is happening?
Well, yeah, because I think it was the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. Like he just recently went under so that way he could finish like his leg tattoo that he was working on.
Jesus.
You know what's so weird about that is, God, I can't remember who wrote the book, The Illustrated Man. Who wrote The Illustrated Man? That book came out, I believe, in about the mid-'60s, late 60s, something like that. Well, I can't. Ray Bradbury? Is that who it was?
Yep.
Yep.
It was Ray Bradbury. Okay, good.
1990s or 69?
69. That's perfect. The Illustrated Man came out, and it was about a man who decided to go out and get every inch of his skin tattooed because no one had ever heard of that. Is that book did that book open the door for people, do you think? Say, hey, I think do it in the book, I'll do it.
I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't know enough about that.
Yeah. And I mean, because there's a lot of people that get tattooed for different reasons. Like you see where people will get like literally every inch of their body tattooed. And it's just just a black sleeve and stuff like that.
That's how this woman was. She was tattooed literally from the bottom of her neck to the tops of her feet.
Do you want the cash call before or after commercial break?
What do you think? Well, we should go to a commercial break here anyway, so we could do it after the commercial break.
Perfect.
But we'll come back and set it up. So you did find it.
I think I did. It sounds like what you're talking about. It's pretty funny. It sounds
very
very
choppers in it because I feel like that's the one.
Pair of choppers.
It's a lot of up on the range, and I just came inside. I heard the phone ringing. And
is it WJJY?
It is.
That's got to be it then.
It's our guy Ken.
I cannot tell you how many people have asked me. You got to, now that you're overdoing the podcast, you got to bring over the Barnard cash call.
That's perfect.
Okay, we will. We'll take a break first. Be right back with the WJJY Ken Thomas cash call. I am so happy to welcome back our longtime friend, Sabre Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, to the show. I've known Steve, the owner, for many years, and I completely trust Sabre to keep my house comfortable. Why? Sabre does everything the right way, and they always put the customer first. I love the team at Sabre because their service experts are experienced NATE certified technicians, not salespeople. Their pricing is completely upfront, and they fix only what needs to be fixed, nothing more. Sabre is dedicated to giving customers what they need when they need it, and at the fair price, keeping your family safe and comfortable without breaking the bank. Give Sabre Heating and Air Conditioning a try. I know they'll take care of you just like they've taken care of me and my family. Whether you need a new Bryant furnace or air conditioner replaced or just simply need a service call to get you going again, go to saberheating.com. That's SABRE heating.com. Sabre and Bryant, whatever it takes.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
This is Bob Sansevier, and I want to tell you about Dave Bialki from Bialki Law. Dave represented my wife, Mary, when she had a significant workplace injury. She was very happy with the job Dave did. If you have a work-related injury and have Dave represent you, I'm betting you'll be happy too. Dave is a down-to-earth guy. He grew up in northern Minnesota, rides a Harley, and worked various jobs doing concrete, electrical, plumbing, roofing, and carpentry work. Dave works for people with work-related injuries. If you work construction, or anywhere for that matter, and you're hurt or even just hurting, you should talk to Dave. Let's face it, our bodies wear out. If your body is worn out from work, if your knees or back or shoulders hurt from things you do at work, do what Mary did. Call Dave and talk to him about it at Bialki Law to set up a free initial consultation. The number to call is 763-571-2410. That's 763-571-2410. Or visit bialkilaw.com. That's BIALKE law.com.
My brother-in-law died suddenly, and now my sister and her kids have to sell their home. That's why I told my husband we could not put off getting life insurance any longer. An agent offered us a 10-year, $500,000 policy for nearly $50 a month. Then we called SelectQuote. SelectQuote found us identical coverage for only $19 a month, a savings of $369 a year.
Whether you need a $500,000 policy or a $5 million policy, SelectQuote could save you more than 50% on term life insurance.
For your free quote, call SelectQuote at 1-800-449-8811. That's 1-800-449-8811. Or go to SelectQuote.com. 1-800-449-8811. That's 1-800-449-8811.
SelectQuote. We shop. You save. Full details on example policies at SelectQuote.com/commercials.
Yeah, baby. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. Little news, little information. I'll probably check on the weather again because it is going to get cold, no doubt about it. A spotty early shower, partly sunny and windy with a high of 63. Then tonight, coolest night so far this fall, 44 for the low, 50 for the high tomorrow. And then it's going to get down to 39 tomorrow night. So, and it ain't going to get much warmer. 40, 41, 44, 47, 40 the overnight low. It's going to get around anywhere between 53 and actually, it's going to get up to 62 next Tuesday. We'll see if that actually happens. That's a ways out. 63 a week from, well, actually, it's 7 days from now on Wednesday. A high of 63. So we'll see if it gets back in the 60s. But, you know, it's fall. We're coming up on the second week in October here. So it's going to happen.
It's happening.
We're going to have winter.
Ugh.
You know, it's really weird. And it's true. I love summer and fall. Don't really care for winter and spring.
Really?
A lot of people like spring because, it's coming back. But spring takes way too long in Minnesota.
And it feels like we get a lot of winter and spring. It feels like we get a lot of winter happening in spring. I get super excited when spring comes, though, because it feels like the vibe's about to change, and I need that.
Yeah, it's that hope, that light at the end of the tunnel.
Yeah, the depression lifts away, and I go, I don't hate everyone.
And also, in order to defend myself, Jerry, good friend of the show, Jerry from New Hope, right? Says that Almond Joys suck and Halloween sucks, that I'm right and you guys are all wrong.
I'll fight Jerry so hard.
I'll fight Jerry so hard. Jerry, I'm going to sweep the legs so hard, so be ready.
Get a body bag.
Hey, Jerry, shut the hell up and you get more ribs over here, okay? Unless you're going to bring ribs in, shut up.
His ribs
phenomenal
are amazing.
I've never had them, so Jerry, you mean nothing to me still.
Hey, and he should.
His ribs and his chocolate truffle cookies that he makes.
God.
What the hell is he that even?
Oh, no, I'm not kidding you.
That sounds so good. Chocolate truffle cookies.
10 out of 10.
Yep.
Maybe Jerry makes a good point.
I think Jerry has a lot of really good points.
As long as he brings food in.
Yeah.
I'm
Jerry,
easily swayed.
Yeah.
So
we can tell you where the studio is.
He didn't like anything?
No, he texted me and he said, "You're right. Almond Joys suck. Halloween sucks."
It's coconut and chocolate.
Yeah, Jerry, shut the hell up.
Don't
I'm back on the screw you, Jerry. I can buy my own ribs. I'm a little worried. I'm not getting any of our emails, so if people are trying to email in, I don't get anything. So I will shoot.
Why is it always something?
I don't know. I wasn't going to say anything, but then I was like, you know what? I don't want people to feel like I'm ignoring them because I write them back during the commercial breaks all the time.
I know that we had some kind of connectivity issues at the main offices yesterday for like all stations and whatnot.
But the stream is up and running. I checked on that.
And that is now fixed. So it's possible that like with some fixes, other stuff does break, and we'll have them all ironed out sooner than later.
Message me on Facebook. I'll check that.
Hit us on the gram.
I've been looking at the same dark screen for 3 weeks, so apparently it doesn't move too quickly.
No, efficiency not one
Jesus.
of the strong points, but
Rather amazing.
We have the WJJAY.
Yeah, do you want me to play that?
WJJAY.
Cash cab.
Cash
call.
cab. Yes,
Cash
that's
call.
what it's called. The cash cab. No question. Okay, here's what happened. I don't even know how many years ago, but it was at least 30, maybe even 35 years ago. A woman came into KQ when it was in Golden Valley, and she said, Tom, God, I wish I could remember her name. I keep thinking her name was like Carly. I can't remember, though, for sure.
Okay.
She was a woman from Barnard, Minnesota. She said, Tom, I brought this in. You have to hear this. I'm telling you, I've been listening to you for, all these years, and I know you're going to love this. She brought this piece of audio. So if you're still out there, young lady, call in. That was so cool that you brought this in. This it's a guy named Ken Thomas. He works at WJJY Radio in Barnard. It's a real place. Ken Thomas is a real guy. And he would call people and say, hey, we're doing the WJJY cash call. And if you knew the amount, you would win that money.
Mm-hmm.
Okay?
Got it.
Is that enough of an intro?
Yeah, I think so.
Here's the cash call.
Hello?
Hello, is this the Eno Corpy residence?
Yeah?
Is this the Corpy residence?
Yes?
Hi, this is Ken Thomas at WJJY Radio in Brainerd, and we're playing Cash Call. Do you know our current cash call amount?
Huh?
Do you know what our current cash call dollar amount is?
Who is this?
Oh, you're not familiar with our program at all, are you?
No.
Okay, well, I'll tell you what we've got here. This is a radio station in Brainerd, Minnesota calling you.
Oh.
And we've got a jackpot where there's a dollar amount in the jackpot. And if you can guess the correct amounts, we'll give you that money.
Oh.
Now, I know you maybe haven't been listening. Maybe you'd like to just take a wild guess at it.
Yeah, I've been to Fargo to the hospital.
Oh, I see.
Just got home last evening.
Oh, well, I hope you're okay.
Yeah, I'm okay.
That's good.
Yeah.
Did you want to take a guess at a total or not?
Yeah?
Okay.
Yeah.
Go ahead and take a guess.
Yeah. Anybody can come.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, listen, I'm sorry I disturbed you this morning.
Huh?
I said, I'm sorry I disturbed you this morning. I hope you're
I'm
feeling
okay.
better. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for talking.
Yeah.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Like,
Oh, it goes on.
Did you want more?
Oh, absolutely.
All right, let's keep it
Is
rolling.
it like 5 minutes?
he has to call so many people. It's so funny.
It only gets
Hello.
better.
Hello, is this the Ernest Toluca residence?
Yes.
Hi, this is Ken Thomas at WJJY Radio in
Is this the
Brainerd.
same lady?
We're playing
No.
Cash Call. Are you
Sounds
familiar with our contest?
Well, I'm kind of, Grandma, I'm kind of hard hearing. Would you talk slower, please?
Okay, this is Ken Thomas at WJJY Radio in Brainerd, and we have a contest we call Cash Call.
A chess ball?
Cash Call. It's called Cash Call.
Oh, well, Ernie's not home right now.
Ernie's not there right
And
now.
neither of them. This is just Grandma here alone.
Oh, I see.
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Could you call again sometime?
we'll try back some other time.
Okay.
Okay. Hi, this is Ken Thomas at WJJY Radio in Brainerd, Minnesota. We're playing Cash Call. Are you familiar with our contest?
No, I ain't.
Okay, we have a certain amount of money in the jackpot, and if you can guess the correct total, you will win that amount.
Make a guess. Let's see. But there are choppers.
Pardon me?
There are choppers.
A pair of choppers? No. That's not it.
Okay.
Okay.
That
Bye-bye.
was like the big inside joke for so long at KQ.
This is Ken Thomas calling from WJJY. We're playing a game we call Cash Call. Are you familiar with our contest?
Not interested.
You're not interested?
No.
What if I told you you can guess at a dollar amount, and if you hit the money, you win money just like that, and it doesn't cost you anything?
You're gay.
Pardon me?
Are you gay?
No, I'm sorry. Hello?
Burn.
Okay, I got to tell you something, though. There's an important part of that we didn't know at first. She thought his name was Gay.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
Because she apparently has a friend that has a friend named Gay.
Yeah, we was waiting for a call.
And so they said, you're gay.
He goes, no.
Well, you remember Gay Talese, who's a very famous.
Oh
wife.
yeah. Well, either way, it's like these elderly, vulnerable adults you're calling have no idea what's going on. Even if she did call him gay, whatever. Like,
gay.
It's just
He
so.
was gay.
I mean, oh God, I just can't imagine my grandma would be like, "Why? What? No, thank you."
Right. And like from his perspective, he's like, how hard is it just to get somebody to guess a dollar amount?
Guess a dollar
like,
amount.
Just please just say.
Oh
no.
yeah.
Those calls had to be so painful.
Yeah, I'm guessing that bit didn't last very long.
I don't know, but we had him on a couple times. Ken Thomas, a really, really nice guy.
He's
Just really
so
nice.
funny.
And every time I would go up to like the Grandview Lodge to play golf or whatever, I would have people from the next 5 holes on both sides. Hey, Tommy, Barrett Chopper.
Barrett Chopper.
Oh my God.
He's like really thinking. Let me think. Barrett Chopper.
Barrett Chopper.
What even is that?
That's gloves.
What?
Gloves. They're gloves.
Do you live in Minnesota?
Yeah, typical, huh?
Kevin, we're just attacking you today.
Yeah, apparently I need to go get some pad choppers
Like they're the big
and some
gloves,
almond joys.
like the
yeah.
big.
Oh, that's what those are called? Like
Yeah.
the tan ones that are made
Yeah.
out of like sheepskin?
Those are
Whatever,
choppers.
yeah.
I think they were chopping gloves for lumberjacks. That's why they're called choppers.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, is that
I
why?
I believe so, yeah, because
I-
they're heavily padded.
I was told that like when you have it on your hand, if you wiggle it back and forth, it'll make the sound of like a helicopter.
Well, it probably would too.
Yeah, like a chopper.
Cute. I love the brown leather ones. There was a guy at the old station who made ear pads for his headphones out of that brown leather.
Who did?
Eric.
Ray Eric?
No, the overnight Eric.
Well, your buddy.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm trying to think of Eric's. I don't know what I can't remember what his on-air name was. Eric something. I didn't want to say his actual last name.
I don't remember. Actually, I do. I'm lying. But anyway, moving forward, I'll tell you off the air. How about that? That'll work. No question about it. All right. So what else is going? I'm really, really glad you found that because people have asked me everywhere I go, would you please play the Brainerd Cash Call? So now we got it. We can play it once in a while.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very easy to find. So.
We had Ken Thomas on the show a couple times, way, way back in the day. Really, really nice guy. Very, very pleasant. But that bit, it went down in history. No question about that.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Oh, you just went, yeah.
Yes. Barrett choppers.
A parachopper driver realizes he's, oh, Jesus. Why?
I know what story you're on.
You do know what story I'm on.
I've been waiting to talk about this.
Why did you do this to me? Driver realizes he's seen cops' privates on erotic site as she pulls him over.
What?
So you're a cop and you're posing nude and you're not even trying to cover up who you are?
What?
Yeah, she has an
Why?
OnlyFans page.
But why?
Because the police, they were defunded. So she's got to make some money somehow.
Police were defunded. Oh, and of course, the whole screen just went black. I can't read the story.
Drivers realizes, okay, so that's what you started. A cop has apparently been outed as an OnlyFans model last week after she pulled over a driver who subscribed to her content. According to Fox 9 Minneapolis, the Minneapolis PD officer is now being investigated by the department to determine if she broke any policy or guidelines by working as an erotic model. The officer said that she is well-respected cop and she's been recognized for her police work, but her side hustle has landed her in some hot water.
So a side hustle is what is it?
That's the OnlyFans.
OnlyFans. Yep.
And OnlyFans is a nude site or something?
Yeah, it doesn't have to be nudes. It just has a paywall. So it's like something that if you wanted to subscribe to the content, you have to pay for it. So it could be whatever you want it to be.
Yeah, it started out as a platform for some, like local creators. If you make music or you make comic books, you can put up stuff on OnlyFans and like people can pay for your content. And then what happened is like sex workers that were making online videos were like, oh, well, we'll use the site too. And so now it's more or less just transformed into this like amateur pornographic site.
But it's not really, they don't have sex or anything, just posing.
Some of them do. Like
they do
some
have
people will
sex,
just
okay.
like, there's girls that just post pictures of their feet and will make millions of dollars because there's guys that are into that kind of thing. Or so it's a safe space for everybody, I guess.
What was that guy's name that had had a fetish for Jeff Passolt's feet?
Oh, I know. They would
What?
call in
What
all the
was his
time. I don't
name?
remember his name.
That's amazing.
Dennis?
I used to have a guy that called in, and his big thing was just saying to cream your panties to me in every sentence. So he'd call in. I know it was jarring.
What?
But I worked the overnight, and his big thing was he wanted to say this sentence to me. So I'd be like, "Oh, hi," and he'd be like, "Oh, hey, what are you doing?" It'd be like a disguised voice. I'd be like, "Are you the guy? You want to cream your panties?" And he'd hang up. Like that was his thing. He loved saying.
What is the upside of that for the guy? I
don't
don't
know.
get it.
I don't know.
But
But yeah,
say cream your panties to a woman. What?
there was that guy that always would call in and want to see Passold's feet.
Yes.
God. Passold might remember. I'm sure he's got him on like a do not call, do not let him into the house kind of.
What is the deal with feet? I don't understand that either.
I think it's okay that you don't understand. I don't think that's like a bad. I don't want to yuck anyone's yum. If that's your thing, that's fine. It's just not my thing.
Well, I'm glad we all found that out, that it's not your thing. Yuck somebody's yum.
Yeah, like I don't think there's
Get
anything.
out.
I don't think there's anything inherently wrong with being into feet.
Right. You don't want to kink shame anybody.
No.
But what's the upside? That's what I don't get.
I mean,
do they whack you off with their tootsies or what is it?
I think they just like love feet.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anybody with a foot fetish, call the hotline. And
yeah, call now.
Explain
I'd
yourself.
say email, but I don't think I'm getting them.
I still can't believe that.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, what's a butt? You know, like what's a butt? What's boobs? They're all
I agree.
Right.
Yeah. So it's like if somebody likes feet, okay. As long as they're harmless about it, like they want to find people who consensually want to give them feet. Okay.
Right. Give them feet.
Give them feet.
Yeah.
You know, that to tell you, what size shoe do you wear?
9.
So does Catherine.
Yeah.
So that's a big shoe for a woman.
Thank you.
So is that even more attractive for men?
I think it's the opposite. I think people
it's
like
a small
well,
feet?
I don't know. I guess it depends what their thing is, right?
Right.
Do they want like little dainty cute feet? Or do they want, I don't know, weird big feet?
Yeah, but here's the part that I don't understand. I like that stuff when it's attached to Catherine. You know what I mean?
Must be nice.
And I don't care about her feet at all. Yeah, big feet, good for you.
Right.
But I mean, all the stuff you mentioned, butts and breasts and all that stuff, as long as it's attached to the person you really love, that'd be great.
Yeah, that's the way you work. That's not the way everyone works.
Right.
But what's the upside in paying someone to show you their nipple?
Maybe there's one nipple.
What?
I don't know. Like I would never. I'm not subscribing to somebody's OnlyFans, but yeah, there's guys that's just what they're into. They like, and some people probably like the quote unquote like wrongness of it. Like, oh, I'm paying to see something I shouldn't normally be able to see.
Now, once again, let me say this: if you're into that, I'm not criticizing you. I just don't get it.
I know. No. I don't think you will. I don't think it's your jam.
No, it's not at all. But again, I'm not saying
jam.
Here we go.
Oh, you're the problem now.
Yeah.
So. Again, I want to be very clear. I'm not criticizing other people for what they like. Good for you. It's just not. I don't understand.
Thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never understood watching pornography over and over and over again either. Why? It's the same story, isn't it? I've seen naked women before. I don't need to watch them on TV.
Yeah, it's just not your thing.
Yeah, and again, if that's what you like, I'm happy for you as long as you don't take it too far and get violent and shit.
Yeah.
Because some of those guys get violent, apparently.
Yeah, I think consent is key with everything, right? Like that's the main thing.
Consent would be good.
Consent is the only, and you keep in mind, you can't give consent if you're underage or intoxicated.
What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? So consent is key, and then you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Do you think this cop is going to get fired from the police force?
Yes.
You think so?
Yes.
I do have audio of the guy who was arrested by her.
Let's
really?
hear this audio.
You get to see the videos of her and her his husband or whoever that is. They do full sex video because you can't arrest me no more. I've seen your private parts.
I didn't understand one word he said.
I didn't either.
Basically, he was like, I got pulled over by her, and then I'm looking at her, and I'm realized I've seen you.
Oh.
And he's like, she does like full sex videos with what he says is, I'm guessing, her husband, and then you can't arrest me anymore because I've seen your private parts. Like that's not how this works.
I don't know if that's logic that works in the world.
Yeah, that doesn't get you out of a speeding ticket.
No.
I don't think. No.
Was that Tevin's cousin?
Tevin?
I cannot confirm or deny that was my cousin.
This is the second story I've read today that is somebody getting fired because of OnlyFans. There was a teacher recently that I read about today that had been fired for OnlyFans as well.
So she was appearing on OnlyFans. You got fired for it?
Yeah, she's been placed on leave after she was found running an OnlyFans page with her husband, has now resigned to devote time to her porn. I don't want to fight the school district. I'm just ready for peace, says Brianna, 28. And I knew nothing was ever going to be the same if I went back. So that's just the best option. She was a freshman and sophomore English teacher.
Yeah. And I can see where a teacher
probably
shouldn't be doing it, just because, one, if your students find out, now the whole school knows, and everybody's trying to subscribe to OnlyFans, so probably not a good look for that. But
I felt so bad. There was a girl my senior year. She was in our senior class. She started doing porn, and everybody was on the site watching it.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
How old was she?
She was 18.
Oh, God.
One of my friends, his older sister was a Playboy bunny. And so when the school found out about that, that was like the end of his existence at school, because everybody, I've seen your sister's areolas.
I just feel like if she would have waited one more year, it would have been a lot better for her. But like being in high school and that being sent around, I felt bad for her.
You got to do me a favor, though. Gelfand just got here, so don't ask him to show him your nipples.
Show his nipples?
Yeah.
Okay, I won't. I've seen them. Who
You've
hasn't seen Gelfand's nipples?
Well, there is that.
Can't surf the web without seeing some Gelfand nip.
He's just putting his hands up on. He's out there going like, "What the?
Why
hell
me?
Here he comes.
He's storming.
Here comes Gelfand, ladies and gentlemen. He's got to fight for himself, and that's all there is to it. You got it all teed up and ready to go. Oh, you're fixing it now. I like how we do this at the last minute, not before the show starts.
Well, he's 15 minutes early, which is actually shocking.
Well, no, I can never depend on,
Uber.
With Uber, they're pretty reliable, but every now and then they turn the 3-minute drive into a 23-minute drive.
Taking a little turn here and there.
It can happen. Yeah.
Is it a charge up thing?
Their GPS doesn't seem to know any better.
But is it a charge up thing?
No, they can't charge up.
Oh, they can't.
No, that's defined before you get in there.
Oh, so this is how much it's going to cost you.
Yeah. So.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So there's no advantage. It's not like a New York cab,
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's true. Uber. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So that's one of the good things. And then most of the drivers are very pleasant. They're smart guys who are just basically gigging.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. Trying to make a little money on the side or something.
Yeah.
No problem there. So, yeah, we were just talking about your nipples.
Oh, really? Well, they don't get enough attention.
They don't. They could get more attention. You'd be happier. What are we doing?
Are you not hearing anything? Is that what's going on?
Yeah.
Yeah, here's what we're going to do from now on. When we get here in the morning, we're going to set everything up, and it's going to be ready to go like at a real professional organization.
Oh, there it is.
He's had to turn them on. They were sitting
No,
there.
we were moving microphones on stuff. Let's get this stuff set up before the show starts. I'm gonna have to teach you guys how to do radio. That's all there is.
That's
to it.
all. Yeah.
You have no goddamn.
Well, I
idea
figured, I figured you'd be in a great mood today.
I am in a great mood, other than working with these people. But,
Well,
it's
it's too bad that you
No,
have to
Mike,
work with people.
I got to be honest with you. I was at the game last night. It was so much fun. It was unbelievable. First time they've won a playoff series in 21 years.
Yep, 21 years.
Oh my!
But the thing is, what was different about this was I think we all figured they probably would win.
Yeah, it's probably
because they got the pitching.
Yes,
and it's always been said about baseball that you got to be strong up the middle.
Mm-hmm.
And boy, are they strong up the middle.
No, you're right. They are.
With Correa and Taylor.
Yep. Oh, Taylor is can't hit worth shit, but he's a great outfielder.
And people complained all year about Correa's hitting. Do you actually think they'd be here without him?
No, you're right. You're 100% right about that. Or Michael Taylor, for that matter.
That's right.
He can track them all down.
Well,
man.
that's what I'm saying. Straight up the middle.
So you watched the game.
Oh, yeah.
What'd you think?
I thought there were a lot of moments that were kind of went the Twins' way. But when you play good baseball, things do tend to go your way.
Well, they did play good baseball. I watched both games. I was at the game last night. Watched the first game on television. They went beautiful. They only gave up one run. How could that be bad?
Right. Yeah. And I thought that the defining moment for me was when Griffin Jacks tackled the base runner. I thought that was pretty good. Yeah, he could have just stepped back and thrown the ball to first, but he chose to. They always talk about pitchers wanting soft contact.
Yeah.
This guy wanted hard contact.
Well, you just went over to tag him out. That's all it was.
It was quite a collision.
All right, we'll talk more about this. Got to take a quick break. Be right back. Mike Gelfand in studio right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
In a world that's racing a mile a minute, a split-second distraction can change everything. I'm Mike Bryant from Bradshaw and Bryant. Every day we see too many people, heads buried in their phones, unaware of the dangers they're in. Texting and driving isn't just reckless, it's playing Russian roulette with your life and the lives of others. In just 4 seconds of distraction, you've driven the length of a football field. Is there any text message that's worth your life, that's worth the lives of others? I've been fighting for the rights of the injured for over 30 years, but I'd rather you never meet me in a courtroom. So hear me now. Stop texting and driving. Pay attention. Value your lives and the lives around you. And if you won't, know this. At Bradshaw and Bryant, we're relentless. We won't back down. We bring justice to those that need it.
Find Bradshaw and Bryant, personal injury attorneys at minnesotapersonalinjury.com.
With Mike Bryant on your side, seeking justice for the injured. Bradshaw and Bryant.
The new Tom Barnard Morning Show is proud to have partners like Bradshaw and Bryant, MyPillow, and North American Banking Company founder, chairman, and president, Mike Bilski.
I've advertised on Tom's show for years, and the reason is simple. My business is recognized because of the ads, and that recognition has created growth. What business doesn't want to grow? I highly recommend the Tom Barnard Morning Show for your advertising.
Grow results for your business by partnering with the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Visit TomBarnardShow.com, keyword partner.
We're going abroad for the first time in years, to Spain. So we started using Babbel.
And started learning Spanish fast.
With Babbel, you can start having conversations in another language in just 3 weeks.
¿Cómo te llamas?
¿Cómo te llamas?
When you learn a language, you want to actually use it. Babbel is designed with that goal in mind.
In just 3 weeks, we're starting to have conversations in Spanish. Gracias, Babbel.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free at Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
Tom Barnard is back. Every weekday, you'll hear Tommy B, Brittany Arneson. Yes, that Brittany Arneson. Along with Tom's pals, Kent Herbeck on Fridays, Bob Sansevier, Mike Stretch Gelfand, Tim Lammers, and from Channel 5 Eyewitness News, Chris Eggert and Kristen Burt on entertainment and pop culture. It's Tom and the crew with opinions on news, opinions on life, opinions on entertainment, and of course, opinions on other people's stupid opinions. The Tom Barnard Show is a podcast, so you can listen when you want to listen. In the car, on the way to or from work, at home, on the job site, or wherever you need your Tommy B Show fix. Hear the show on the Tom Barnard Show app in your app store, as a podcast on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts, or see it on YouTube on the Tom Barnard Show channel.
Yeah, baby. Tom is protesting in the hallway because he is mad that the mics got moved.
Mm-hmm. But we're back.
Well, we are back. I do want to tell you guys that I did find out that they were saying that a big reason, we were talking about why people and apps were getting divorced more often. They're saying that the results revealed that couples who met online tended to be younger, had more dating experience, and were more likely to be same-sex or interracial marriages than those who had met offline. And I feel like the key there is you getting married young.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that would be so. Like this article is really long, and I would kind of comb through it during the commercial break, and I'm like, I think that's the big thing that they were looking for in this article.
Yeah, it's not necessarily that because they met online that they're unhappy. It's that there's a lot of other societal pressures and other things that are typically going on in the types of relationships that start online.
And I think it's also true that a lot of people, my just personal findings, is that there are a lot of people you meet on a dating app who are very determined to get married.
Oh, I see. So it's like they will ignore the red flags.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. That's a good
I mean, most
point.
of us do anyway, but yeah.
You guys talking about, oops, I don't have a mic. There we go. Now I do. I tell you, our timing on this show really sucks.
We're working on it.
Yeah, we are going to work on it, believe me. Anyway, so what you guys thought, you talking about what now?
I was kind of summing up that one article we were reading about why people on dating apps tend to get divorced earlier.
Oh, because we were talking about, like last hour, we were talking about that same story.
Yeah, but I think we do have the caller ready. Terry's back.
Marvelous. Terry's ready to go. Terry Muir, how you doing, Terry?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
Magnificent. In honor of the 35th anniversary of the groundbreaking true crime series Unsolved Mysteries, Film Rise and Cosgrove Muir Productions have joined forces to release an all-new documentary tribute special. Got to be honest with you, Terry, I don't know that I've ever missed an episode of Unsolved Mysteries. Is that kind of sad?
No, I think it's wonderful. You're like many of our fans. I think Unsolved Mysteries has the best fans and the best viewers out there. That's the reason. It's the fans that are the reason that the show has been on for 35 years, I think.
God, you had Robert Stack. You had so many great how many different hosts were there? Just 2 or 3, something like that?
We did specials first. We produced 7 specials for NBC, and the first one was hosted by Raymond Burr. The next one was Carl Malden, and then Bob Stack took over and finished the very long run of 11 seasons.
God, that is, like I said, I've never seen the ones with the first 2, though. Are they still available?
You know, those are not available.
That's too bad. I would have loved to see Raymond Burr doing Unsolved Mysteries. He got very serious, I bet, huh?
Oh yeah. No, he was fun to work with.
You know, it's interesting.
He had very strong ideas about how it should be done, though.
No.
But it was at the beginning, so we listened.
No, I did. I tell you what, Oscar, I never saw the original 2 there you were talking about, but obviously a lot of Robert Stack, all the rest of it. And what's kind of interesting to me, and I thought about this much later in life, I didn't think about it at first, but I thought to myself, why do I like watching a show where they don't solve the mystery? It's kind of interesting, isn't it?
It is.
I think so. I mean, but I think that's one of the hallmarks of the show is that they are mysteries.
Yeah.
Is that people want to come back, and it gives you something to talk about. You finish the show and you go, well, wait a minute, who do you think did it? I don't know. Who do you think did it? Or which theory do you come down on? I think people love mysteries because they're kind of brain challenges, but I also think that because we were solving the cases, people came back because it's like, oh, okay, that one got solved and that's who did it. And they got closure. The viewers got closure. The families certainly got closure, but so did the viewers.
Yeah, a lot of, I don't know the number, but there were a number of cases in Minnesota on Unsolved Mysteries. The most famous one probably being the college kid up at St. John's. I think it was St. John's University. That was a big story. I remember that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a big one. I wish that one could get solved. That's one of the older cases, and it was about 20 years old.
Yeah, no question. Do you have a number close to how many were eventually solved? Were some of them solved?
Oh, yes. 260, probably 25 to 30% of all the cases filed have been solved. Yeah, a lot. Most of those are wanted fugitives, and that were brought in and lost, what we called lost loves, where families were looking for a lost loved one, that had been torn apart by war or adoption or something like that. We reunited those people. We don't have as many of those cases that come in anymore now because you've got social media, which we didn't have before, so people can find each other now. And you have Ancestry.com and 23andMe, the DNA testing, and you can find people that way too. So it's interesting. In 35 years, technology has really evolved in so many ways.
Yeah, no question about that. I just whose idea was Unsolved Mysteries in the first place?
I had produced a documentary about missing adults for HBO, and that show actually found someone. That was, I think, in 1982, and that we pitched then the idea of missing persons cases to NBC and produced 3 shows, and those shows found a couple of people. And then we said, okay, well, let's broaden this out. If we can use the media to solve these cases, we just came up with every kind of mystery we possibly could, including paranormal, because those, it's a mystery, ghosts and UFOs and miracles. So we just came up with as many mysteries as we could, and we had usually 4 stories in each hour, and then hopefully an update from a case that had been solved, or at least some updated information. So there was a little something for everyone, I think, in each episode, and that's why one of the reasons we think the show has been successful too, because it's got a variety of cases. There's a lot of true crime shows out there right now, but a lot of them, they're focused on one particular type of crime, like missing persons or a murder. But we provided quite the variety.
Terry, are there some cases maybe involving little children or whatever that you've just decided, well, this is just too sad. It's too sad to even do this one. You ever run into that problem?
There are those cases. I know the audience. It's very hard to watch a case about harm that has come to a child.
Yes.
If we felt like the case was solvable, we would still do it. But those are harder. Those are harder to watch. We didn't want to. One of the most challenging parts of producing the series was having to choose which cases we were going to do. Thousands of cases came into us, and they still are being submitted. Sadly, there's still a lot of unsolved mysteries cases out there. But that was the hardest part, was saying yes to one case and saying no to another.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if we felt like that we could help, that was always important. If we felt like we could help, we would want to do those cases, even though they were hard to watch.
So if we're going to watch Unsolved Mysteries Behind the Legacy, it's available everywhere October 19th, correct, on all major platforms. Is that right? October 5th, of course, today on Pluto.
Yes, today is exactly the 35th anniversary of the launch of Unsolved back on NBC in 1988.
The very first, obviously I don't remember. I think I've seen just about every show you guys have ever done, because I really do like the show. I find it fascinating the way you guys handle the cases and all that. What was the very first one?
Well, the first we solved the case in the very first episode. It was the story of a woman who had disappeared, and people had thought that she had gone out on a date that had gone wrong. And back then, they didn't have dating apps. It was, you found matches through the personals ads, and she had been involved in the personals. But somebody who worked in a morgue after the show aired contacted us and said that a Jane Doe had come in, and it turned out that this was that woman, Gail Delano. So that was the first case that got solved in the first episode that aired.
Sherry, what does law enforcement think of the show? Because I got to believe that people are coming forward with all kinds of family problems. Maybe some date back 20, 30 years, and they're asking you guys, they're asking the cops. I mean, they're obviously looking for help to get some clue what happened to their relative. I mean, there've got to be thousands of those cases that can never be solved. That's got to be tough.
Law enforcement, I think, was first hesitant because they didn't know quite what Unsolved could accomplish. But once we started solving cases, we had a lot of law enforcement who still come to us and say, "Hey, can you do this case?" We have a great relationship with law enforcement because we work very closely with them in trying to solve the case. And we don't put out any clues that they don't want out. And we respect their thoughts and their feelings about the case. But they do come to us. All aspects of law enforcement, FBI, Department of Justice, local law enforcement agencies, because they know that we can help. It's not if a crime has just happened, a few weeks ago, law enforcement is much more hesitant to have us get involved. But on these colder cases where they don't have any more leads coming in, they know that we can generate leads, and that's what they need to solve the case. So we all work together.
And hey, wait a minute. Could we say that again? Could you say those words, "we all work together"? Because maybe the United States should hear that right now.
We all work together.
Thank you.
To try and solve these cases.
Honest to God, I watched.
We should all work together.
We should all. That's a good way to put it. We should all work together. Is there one of the cases that popped up that even you kind of went, I don't know. Some of them have to be way too sad to even put on television, I would think.
I don't know. I think it's not about too sad. It's about how solvable is it.
Yeah, true.
That's really what the bar was. Some of the cases were incredibly sad, but that was never our criteria. We looked for cases that involved obviously different types of categories of mysteries and different locations around the country and diversity of character. So we did have kind of a criteria, but sad was never it, because it's who's to judge sad? If I can't speak to it's the family members and the people that are involved in the mysteries. It's sad for everyone when they have an unsolved mystery in their lives.
I could see that.
Hard to quantify that.
I think that might be one of the reasons why people love that show so much, because I thought about that a few times over the years. I mean, all the years of watching Unsolved Mysteries, you do learn, hey, maybe my life is not as bad as I thought it was. I didn't have to deal with something like this. I think for me, at least, part of it is kind of very helpful because you realize how lucky you are in your own life.
I think so. I think that's true. We tried to create, relatable. We wanted to find characters and people, that our audience could relate to. That could happen to me. What if that happened to me? Or I hope that doesn't happen to me. I like to think that you can't quantify this, but I like to think that a certain number of people were maybe kept out of harm's way because of the cautionary tales of unsolved mysteries. I know my kids were inundated with cautionary tales about how not to become an unsolved mystery growing up. They probably are scarred for life.
I bet that's
as
probably...
Minnesotans, we had, when I was a kid, Jacob Wetterling.
Yeah.
Scarred a whole generation of parents.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh. Jacob's case. Oh, yeah. Well, that got solved.
Yes, it did eventually.
Yeah.
Took a long time, but it did.
Yeah, it did take a long time. But that just goes to show you, Jacob's case is a really good example. The other thing we hope that, people have is hope that these cases can get solved. You just never know where that tip's going to come from, where that lead's going to come from. And so we've been surprised for sure over the years when a case has gotten solved. Didn't see that coming, but we're thrilled.
God, for years, Terry, I did public service announcements, and it all started with the Wetterling family calling me and saying, Tom, would you mind cutting some videos for us, cutting some ads we're going to run on radio stations and television stations. I be honest with you, Terry, and I don't know if you probably have to deal with this as well, to be in the presence of a mother and a father that have lost their son like Jacob Wetterling. The Wetterling family, just wonderful people. That was very, very hard. I can kind of understand dealing with this stuff because you meet with the families, I'm sure. It's got to be hard.
It is hard. I still remember back in 1982, one of the first that HBO documentary that I mentioned was about missing people, and there was a case that Johnny Gosh out of Des Moines, Iowa, a paper boy that disappeared, and we profiled that case. And I spent Thanksgiving with the Gosh family, and Johnny had just recently disappeared. I think about that case often because it just tore that family apart, and it is hard. It is hard, but they have. I think that we give people hope. They feel if they've done Unsolved and it's gone their story's gone nationwide. I think that people feel like they've done everything they can, and that there's a certain comfort in knowing that you've done everything you can to try and get resolution to this case. And I know Noreen and John, gosh, they did everything they could, but it still just tore the family apart. I don't think you recover from that. So it is hard. I've sat and done interviews and just cried with the people that I'm interviewing.
Sure.
I get very emotional about these cases.
No, I understand, Terry, because like I said, it ended up because of the Wetterling case that I started doing a lot of voiceover for missing children and people. There was one case where a young kid, I believe is 16 years old, died from huffing. So those people approached me and said, would you cut a bunch of PSAs talking about the dangers of huffing and all the rest of it? And we did. So yeah, it was for years, probably 30 years. I was the voice of all, the missing children things and all this and all the rest of it. And I'll never forget, there was a young man that lost his 16-year-old son to huffing, and I cut all the PSAs for him. And about 6 months later, I ran into him, the father. And I remember, and you've probably been through this, Terry, and that's why I'm bringing it up. I walked up to him and said hello to him. And I said, how you doing? And he paused and he looked at me and said, Tom, how do you think I'm doing?
Dang.
Oh God, Terry.
Gut punch.
Yeah.
Oh, Terry, it was tough.
You just can't get past that. But I think that, I think missing persons cases are probably the toughest because you just don't know. There is closure if it's a murder case, as sad as it is, but you want the closure, you want justice. And people, the stories that we produced 35 years ago, I think about those cases because some of those people are passing away now, and they're dying without the closure that we hoped that we'd be able to bring. And that makes me sad. That does make me sad. You just wish you could solve every single case.
Terry, I have to close with this because I'm looking at the descriptor for the interview in honor of the 35th anniversary of the groundbreaking true crime series Unsolved Mysteries, Film Rise in Cosgrove Muir. Productions have joined forces to release an all-new documentary tribute special exploring the history and long-lasting impact of one of the longest-running true crime series. The program will stream free beginning today on Pluto TV and on all major platforms on October 19th in the United States. And at the bottom of that page, I love it. I think we just lost Terry there.
Yeah.
Yes, we did.
To her next interview, I understand. So good I can say this without her being around. There's a picture of Terry standing next to the Unsolved Mysteries logo, and she's got a smile on her face. And there's another picture of her, same logo. She looks pissed off as hell.
Yeah. Like, it's time to get to business.
Look at it. Look at that second
Oh,
picture.
hell yeah.
She looks like she's madder than a sumbitch.
Yeah, hell yeah. Get it, Terry.
But I'll tell you, I remember for literally 25, 30 years, I did a lot of those. I cannot tell you what that takes out of you because you're there for a couple of hours cutting PSAs for every market in the United States. And you can't do it.
Nope. I can't.
It was tough.
Even that interview when you asked about kid stuff, I was like, nope, don't let your brain go there, Brittany. I was like, rainbows and sunshine. I can't even imagine.
Right.
Even before having a kid, I can't even imagine. I just can't. We can't even tell. We should talk about something fun.
All right. We'll close with, again, that guy that I ran into.
Oh God.
You could tell by looking at him, he was never going to get over it.
No.
Never going to happen.
That's the thing. I think
that
a lot
was
of
fun,
people.
Dad. Thank you.
A lot of people don't.
Well, I
understand.
just thought I'd point out that people have a lot harder lives than we do.
Yes, they have.
They do.
I'm grateful for the life I've got. So anyway, Mike, what were you saying?
I was just saying it's hard for people to understand what trauma does to a human being if they haven't been through it.
This is true.
No, I think you're absolutely right. Unless you've been through it, you have no idea what the hell that's all about.
Yeah.
And I think about that all the time. I adore my wife, our son, our daughter, the grandchildren. It's wonderful.
Yeah.
And you look at these people, and these people will never know what that's all about. And that part's been taken away from them. They not only lost their child, they lost their grandchildren someday.
Yeah. What I always tell people is what I learned by being around a lot of people who had lost loved ones. In that case, it was to suicide. But the thing is, the thing people don't understand is, yes, you go on, but you don't move on.
No, you're absolutely right about that. You do not move. They do not move on, and that's just about. This goes all the way back, and I suppose maybe this is where my interest in the cases came from. Aldrich and 26th North Minneapolis by Farview Park over there. There were three brothers that lived in a house just a couple of doors down from the park. The three boys went over to play at Farview Park. Some people say some Fairview. Never came home. All three of them. And they interviewed. This is much later in life, because the mother was still alive. And they went and interviewed her because it had been like, I don't know, the 30 or 40th anniversary or some damn thing. And they went and interviewed the mother. And they asked, well, how do you handle this today? She goes, well, no different than I ever have.
Yeah.
And they said, what do you mean by that? She said, I still think they're going to walk through the door someday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you never know what happened to them. So maybe they could walk through the door someday, I suppose. But I will never forget how sad that was. She just said, I don't know. Maybe they'll come home one day.
Stop.
I don't know.
Yeah.
You don't want to hear about that
if I let my mind go there,
I know.
And so I literally keep it all very surface level. Even these stories, I go, don't let this infiltrate your actual thoughts, because as soon as it starts dripping down in my thoughts, I go, oh, I just can't imagine the wondering if they're ever going to come home, what happened to them, if they had peace. Yeah.
Well, and it doesn't even matter like how careful you are. There's a show that I think it's on Amazon maybe, but anyway, it's called Text Me When You Get Home. And it's essentially a bunch of stories about women that are kidnapped. And there was a family that like their daughter went off to college. They helped essentially like secure her apartment. They got her a job on the apartment complex. So that way she didn't have to worry about, going all over town and potentially getting kidnapped, and still got kidnapped by one of her coworkers that she worked with in her own apartment complex. So it's, no matter how careful you are, you still are going to be potentially a victim.
No, you got to be very careful. You're absolutely, and even like you just said, even that doesn't work sometimes.
No,
which is very, very sad. I've got a couple of seconds. Actually, we can go to break right now. I thought we had a couple of seconds, but apparently we can go to break right now because we got Kristyn Burt coming up right after this.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live on the Tom Barnard Show app or at tombernardshow.com.
What can Hubbard Interactive do for your business? Let's take a listen and find out what they did for one local company, Steve the Window Guy.
I'm Sally, and I'm a digital brand strategist here at Hubbard Interactive. We met with Melissa from Steve the Window Guy, and she was looking for help with their video advertising strategy. So we helped build a comprehensive plan for streaming TV and YouTube ads.
And Melissa, tell us how it's been getting your message out with help from Hubbard Interactive.
I've been working with them for 5 years, and what I've learned is that they have both the experience and the depth inside their team to help me solve any creative marketing challenge that I've got. So over the years, I've moved from streaming TV to YouTube ads, and now we're moving towards SEO. And I'm loving the results that I'm seeing.
Is there anything else you want business owners out there to know about Hubbard Interactive?
I am so grateful for the entire team at Hubbard Interactive for effortlessly understanding our business and our marketing vision, and then always delivering only the best results.
To find out how our experts can help your business grow, get in touch today at hubbardinteractive.com.
Cashback is not available on gas in New Jersey and Wisconsin. This is Matt Crowder live at the gas station on 41st Street, reporting on those skyrocketing gas prices. Excuse me, miss, are you buying less gas now because of the high prices?
Oh, I never pay full price for gas anymore. I just use the free Upside app that pays you cash back for every gallon of gas you buy.
Wait a minute, are you saying you actually get paid cash when you buy gas with the Upside app?
Yes, I get real cash back every time I buy gas.
Well, does that actually add up to anything?
I've made around $200.
Wow. Well, there you have it. Stop paying full price for gas. Download the free Upside app and get real cash back every time you buy gas. This is Matt Crowder Radio News Network. Download the free Upside app now to earn real cash back every time you buy gas. Use promo code SMILE for an extra 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. You can cash out anytime right to your bank, to PayPal, or any gift card for Amazon and other brands. Just download the free Upside app and use promo code SMILE for a 25 cents a gallon bonus on your first tank. That's code SMILE.
At Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing that matters. Introducing 24/7 Lifeguard Protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
If this were a Reese's TV ad, you'd be staring at a Reese's peanut butter cup. And sure, my voice is peanut buttery smooth, but still, you need to see the peanut butter cups, right? No? I can really just say Reese's and you'll go get some? Okay. Reese's. 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 Really working, actually. Reese's. Reese's. I'm on to something. Reese's. Reese's. Reese's.
We are back, ladies and gentlemen. We got a special, I think we have a special guest coming in at 10:30. I told him to come in early, but hopefully that'll happen. No question about that. We've got a very special guest right now. I have to read you, Kristyn Burt, a headline in the Star Tribune this morning.
Okay.
Because I cannot believe people are this stupid. Okay, you ready?
Yes.
Click it or ticket. 1,125 Minnesota motorists didn't wear their seatbelt and were cited in a crackdown. Why the hell would you not wear your seatbelt?
You're telling me you want freedom.
Oh, you want freedom?
How can you have your freedom if you're wearing a seatbelt?
So true.
Freedom from the car
and
seat.
You don't want to look like a nerd.
No. Right. Next thing you know, you'll be getting the polio vaccine.
Yeah, what the hell?
What?
1,125 Minnesota motorists were not wearing a seatbelt and got a ticket. That means how many got away?
Well, yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Jeez.
What percentage of people don't ever wear one?
Why would you do that to yourself?
I have no idea. It's such an automatic thing.
Yeah,
Like
It
you
is.
either
I've never not worn my seatbelt.
I've never not worn my seatbelt.
I bet you it's older people.
You think so?
I bet it
I
is.
wonder.
I would love to see the
1,100
breakdown.
isn't really that much in the grand scheme of things,
Yeah,
though.
but I mean, geez.
But what about like young guys, like under 25? I think there's
maybe.
a lot of that going on too.
They're just too tough guy to wear a seatbelt.
There's a reason why insurance prices are expensive for men under 25.
Right.
Oh, you know what? I just literally was talking to a person about insurance out in the hallway.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he was telling me, quoting me some of these prices. Insurance is a little spendy now. Holy God. I mean, I don't know. How can people even pay for all these different insurances you need? The average person doesn't have that kind of money. What are they going to do about that?
A lot of people don't do anything.
They just don't do anything.
Right.
Just don't get insurance on anything.
Hold your breath and hope everything works out.
And I had a 3.5-year struggle with an insurance company, and which only reinforced what I knew anyway, which is that they will not sell you insurance if you need it.
That's the outcome.
Well, yeah, they want to give you insurance if you don't need it because then they make the most money.
Yeah,
That's
you
the idea.
You get penalized for using your insurance. Like,
Yeah.
oh, well, you have been in too many accidents. We're going to drop you or raise your rates to the point where you can't pay it anyway.
Well, that's exactly what they were talking about on the hallway. I told you there was a special guest coming in. Dougie.
Uh-oh.
Get away from me. Is there a check in there? Yeah. Oh, thank you. Look at this. Murray's, one of my favorite restaurants in the world. You brought. How old is this stuff, Dougie?
It's got to be from the. I don't think I'm on.
You're on now, yeah.
It's got to be from the 60s. I think.
Can you not hear yourself? Because we can
you
hear
wanna turn
first.
Yeah, just turn them up a little bit.
Is that yours? Or yours?
Nope. That one's mine.
Ooh, I've got it.
That was loud.
Little
Look at that. Charlie's Cafe.
There we go. Now I
There
can
we
hear.
are.
Now you
Thank
can
you.
hear.
No
Thank
problem.
you for this.
Do you ever have one of those butter knife steaks
Let
at
me say
Murray's?
something. I got a booth over there. I don't think you're going to sit in it. Last time I saw Sydney alive, probably about 6 months before he passed away at 100 years old, I was at Murray's. I was having dinner with four of my. You were there.
I was there. It was
were
you and
there.
me and Chesky and Bryant.
That's right. It was Michael, Brian, Chesky, you, and me. And remember what Sydney said to me when he walked by?
Yeah, get the fuck out of my booth.
He did. He did. It's my booth. What are you doing?
It was never known as a happy diner.
No, he was not a happy. You're right about that. I miss Sydney, though. God, I thought Sydney was a piece of work, wasn't he?
There was a listener that the podcast that dropped that off in Wisconsin said, "Give this to Tommy. His card's inside."
That is so great.
Wow, that's nice.
Murray's Restaurant and Cocktail Lounge. I might have had a cocktail at Murray's once in my life.
or twice.
Once or twice in my life. Oh God, there are pictures of the dining room. Remember when Murray's used to have that big sign?
Mm-hmm.
Oh yeah.
Remember how long ago that was?
Hell
They had
yeah.
that huge sign. You see that, ladies and gentlemen?
And then
This is
across
right
the
here.
street, I'm trying to remember. There's a restaurant across the street. It was a Chinese restaurant. Remember that? And you had to go up the stairs to get there.
Not the Nankin.
No, not the Nankin. No, this was sort of
Chinese
like where people went there when they couldn't get into the Nankin.
On 5th.
Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah, because they tore that building down.
Yeah.
That's why it's hard for me to picture it, because that's a big, big new building now.
Yeah, it was like,
newer.
the Nankin's full. We'll go over to whatever it was, and then you'd have to go up like three flights of stairs.
God, what was that?
I just can't remember the name.
Was it by the Copper Squirrel?
Well, no, it was just a
Why is
block
it every
down.
time the three of us get together, we talk about drinking in the 60s?
Because we love to do it. That's
Everybody
why.
else is like,
We love to do it.
oh, wow.
No,
a bar that's been closed for decades is
Kristyn wants to talk about drinking in the 23s.
In the 23s, which I do very little of.
Now, you're not a big drinker, I bet.
I am not.
You don't seem like you'd be a big drinker.
No, and first of all, I'm a lightweight. So one drink, that is my limit. Two, it gets a little slurry and sloppy.
I understand completely. It does happen. So what's
I'm
new
not
in
very
your
tall, so it doesn't have any place to go.
How tall are you?
5'3".
What's the average one? About 5'5"?
I would say 5'5" to 5'6".
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, somewhere in there. So yeah, then a couple of inches, no big deal. What's new in your life? Anything? Look, I will tell you, Catherine and I are burning through series like there's no tomorrow. We've already burned through about 25 of them, and now we got a couple more that are on the edge.
Apparently Doug's got something to say.
I got a new one for you that's terrific.
Oh, you do?
His Honor stars Bryan Cranston.
Yeah, I've watched it.
Oh, you watched it?
Yeah.
Okay, never mind.
Doesn't sound like you liked it very much.
You have Succession to get through.
It's called Your Honor.
It's called Your Honor, not His Honor.
All right, I'll just be quiet.
And matter of fact, the second season's not even called Your Honor. It's called something else.
It is?
I think so. Second season's nowhere near as good as the first season, though. Did you watch the second season?
I'm halfway through the first.
The first. Oh,
Yeah.
The first is much better. The second season's not very good. It gets very political, which I'm so sick to death of. I can't even tell you. But in any case, so what's new? What should I be doing? What should I be looking forward to?
Well, I'll tell you the big story that I'm covering this morning. I'm still in the middle of it, but we've been talking a lot about Hollywood getting back to work. Writers Guild, they're back to work. SAG is still on strike, but Drew Barrymore is seeing the consequences of her actions. If you remember, she was trying to go back to work in the middle of the WGA strike. She had 3 WGA writers on her staff. Well, now that the strike is settled on the writer's side, they said, Drew Barrymore said, we're ready for you to come back to work, gave them a new contract, and they quit. So, and new details are kind of coming out about this whole situation. But when she decided to go back to work and cross the picket line, she didn't let the writers know that that was going to happen. They found out through the press. And I think that they just felt undervalued at that point, that she made those decisions without even at least a phone call behind the scenes, just saying, hey, this is where I'm at. We need to move forward business-wise. So now they are interviewing writers desperately. They premiere on October 16th, and it'll be interesting to see who winds up taking the job, because right now the optics aren't great to take that job.
Yeah. So what about how would they find somebody to take that job?
I guess if there might be a writer that obviously they were out of work for 5 months, someone's going to need to take the job.
Yeah,
most
true,
likely.
true.
And someone will. But they're going to have to come in with like a really fresh perspective and a fresh attitude, because there are going to be some people in their own union who will feel upset at them for taking the job and working with Drew. Because I think a lot of people want to see her punished. And listen, she wasn't the only show that was trying to come back. She just became the scapegoat for the entire situation.
I have a question for you on that. And it did come up once already this morning. She is not going to be able to continue to do that job because no one will work with her. She's going to have to go away. Isn't that punishment enough? Why do they have to keep up? Look, she should not have done what she did. But why do people love to punish other human beings so much? I've never understood that. Well, that's not enough punishment. I need to punish you more. It's like, settle down.
I mean, she's definitely going to find writers to work with her.
Yeah.
And the show will go on. I think the public, their attention span to the writer's strike and the ramifications of it, it's short. They're not going to sit there and be upset with her. I think there's going to be people inside Hollywood that, of course, are going to be upset, and we'll move on. But obviously, shows like The View ran all the way through the summer.
Yep, it did.
And they have WGA writers, and they didn't face half the wrath that Drew Barrymore did. And I think because Drew Barrymore just made some PR blunders going, I'm going to be open and honest. And like, that's how she is as a personality, where the women at The View were like, we got to go to work. That's it.
You could tell she was embarrassed because she kept speaking out of the side of her mouth.
That's not very nice to say that. Oh, she always does.
She does. She talks
does.
like this if you've ever seen her on her show.
Well, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's actually like a real physical trait of hers.
Kristyn, he's being a massive.
I know what he was saying, but I'm actually saying if you go and watch her now, you're not going to be able to look at her mouth again, because she does talk like this.
I'm just stunned that Mike watches that show, quite honestly.
Oh, I never missed an episode.
That was it.
What show was it again?
Drew Barrymore on the Drew Barrymore Show.
Drew Barrymore Show. I still have to ask you, and I've never understood it. Why does anyone watch The View? It is the worst show on television. All it is we hate you and we're going to punish you. That's the whole show.
I will tell you, because my friend is in the audience today. I have found that a lot of my gay male friends absolutely love The View. My
know.
uncle
Why?
never misses it. My friends, they are in the audience today. They're visiting New York, and that was one of their must-haves. They are obsessed with Whoopi. They are obsessed with Joy Behar. They love the shouting, and I think it's really funny. I'm like, why is it all of my gay male friends?
You know, I really loved Whoopi Goldberg until I found out that Goldberg wasn't her real name.
Yeah, found out she
That
wasn't a Jew.
Just crushed me.
You thought for sure you were related.
Yeah, I thought it's my cousin.
Third cousin.
Isn't she actually like Cheryl Jones or something
Cheryl
like that?
Johnson.
Is that what? Yeah,
Yeah.
it was a pretty conventional name.
Yeah, I don't understand how anyone can watch that show. I just don't get it. Well, I went through a situation like, maybe it is, Kristyn, because you meet all of these people that have been in these shows. You meet them, whether they appear on your show or you cover their show or whatever it is. And you go, that's not a very nice bro. What's that guy's name again? I can never remember his name because he's such a prick. He's got that new snake oil show.
What?
Oh, there's a new game show called Snake Oil. It's been out for about a week.
Okay.
And you know what I'm talking about?
Oh, David Spade.
David Spade.
David Spade.
I cannot stand him.
That sounds like the kind of show you want the merch, because that show's going away really quickly.
It kind of seems
collector's
like
item.
This is called filler this fall season.
Yeah.
Can we get a celebrity to host a game show? Because we have no content for you on the scripted side.
Yeah, is there any content, or when is there going to be content?
I think the good news is that the writers are all back to work on most of the shows that have been renewed. So they're back at the table, they're writing. Obviously we have no actors to bring those scripts to life, but the more that they can write and the sooner the actors strike is over, I'm hoping we start seeing new shows right at the first of the year.
Yeah.
If the actor strike ended today, which it's not going to, because they're not even meeting today. They're not meeting until tomorrow. But if it ended today, I would bet we would have a couple of episodes before the holiday. But I don't see that happening. I think first of the year is probably the safest bet.
God, everybody's going on strike now. There were 3 more strikes because the auto industry's on strike. Some of them, not all.
An airline.
Hotel workers.
Hotel workers are on strike. Why is everyone on strike?
Nurses too.
Nurses too.
Oh yeah,
Kaiser's on.
Yep, Kaiser Permanente.
So
I know it was considered a hot labor summer, and I think a lot of issues came up in the pandemic when it came to especially people out there on the front line and working conditions. I think people did a lot of discussing on TikTok about why is a CEO making $400 million and some of the workers are scraping by. In some states, it's like $7.50 for minimum wage, which is astonishing to me in 2023. Yeah. Why is there such a disparity in income? And obviously the job descriptions are very different, but people have really just discussed like saying, we're not going to take this anymore.
There was some strike that I saw last night, and they're asking for, I believe it was $52,000 a year as a base salary. Mm-hmm. Can you live in New York, Chicago, Los Angeles at $52,000 a year?
Yeah, try that in San Francisco.
Poverty level in Los Angeles.
Very good if you live outside.
Yeah, you can't have a house or anything like that.
Yeah, poverty level in Los Angeles is now considered $75,000 and below.
Insane.
So when I see, it's like when you look through, when you see jobs in the listings in California, you have to advertise what the salary is now. And they're like 40,000. I'm like, no one's going to take that job.
But I mean, I can't remember which strike it was around there, but they're looking at $52,000 a year per employee.
I think that might have been the Kaiser Permanente one.
You might be right about that.
You'd have to work 2 or 3 other jobs in Los Angeles.
Yeah. So they're on strike and they're still not going to get a livable wage. So
people are just going to have to start leaving the cities. It's going to happen.
Yeah,
guaranteed.
You know what? You're right about that. The cities they're going to start flooding.
I think Generation Alpha is going to get out of the cities as quickly as they can.
Probably. Now, who's Generation Alpha?
That would be the one after Z.
Okay, and what age group is that?
That's a good question. Let's see.
They're under 18s.
They're very young.
They're under 18. Okay.
2010 and on. So 13 would be the oldest Generation Alphas.
Oh, 13 would.
They might wind up being a little cynical, don't you think?
That's what I'm thinking. Yes.
Yeah, you might be.
Yeah, they're all going to become hermits and live on a subsistence farm, I think.
But the sad thing for me, Kristyn, is that streaming television has never been better. It's phenomenal, right?
And that bubble has burst.
Yeah, now it's burst.
And now it's burst because the business model is not sustainable. And so we are going to see a whole shift in everything. And like I said, I think the numbers I was calling out, I was like, we had 600 scripted series in 2022. They're expecting moving forward, it's going to be half that, 300 a year.
Really?
You're going to see such a shift in content once we get back to work.
So this all has to do with the bad economy, I suppose. It had a lot to do with it. How did this happen? How did no one see this coming?
Hollywood likes to put all their eggs in one basket, and they're like, we're going to make so much money off of streaming. You just wait. They made these huge deals with high profile producers and actors, and they're just like tossing money when all of a sudden they realized, oh, wait, we actually still need movie theaters. We still need advertising. That Netflix model of like, hey, you can just watch a TV show uninterrupted. Everyone's offering ad tier based services because they need the advertising dollars on their side as well.
So all the good TV is going to go away. It's
not going to go away. It's just going to be in a more curated, limited quantity. It's going to be quality over quantity. I mean, if you look at some of the movies that are on Netflix, some of you are like, how? I didn't even know this came out. They were throwing spaghetti at the wall. Like, what's going to hit?
Yep. Yeah, movies right now are not very good. The Poirot movie we just saw was good, but that's Agatha Christie. Of course it was good.
Right. It's gonna, we're moving in. We'll start moving into the Oscar season, and so there'll be like dramatic fare available. But I think when we had that conversation with Michelle Mann, I mean, she even understood like this landscape has changed completely, and people are embracing event movies.
I got to be honest with you. I thought about that after the show we did with Michelle Mann, the Mann Theaters. They own theaters all across the country. At one time, owned most of them, I think, at some point.
Yeah.
But they own the Grauman's Chinese Theater.
Yep.
One of the legendary theater.
Always going to be Mann's in my eyes.
It always will. Yeah, you're right. Mann's
Chinese Theater. It's what I grew up with. It's what it'll always be.
Yeah, TCL doesn't roll off the tongue the same way.
That's true.
But wouldn't you, if your family bought that theater, wouldn't you just go and take a sleep overnight in the theater one night just to say you did it?
Yeah,
it was slumber.
That'd be great.
Of course I would.
Go sleep at Grauman's Chinese.
Yeah.
Right? That'd be so fun.
My kids and I went to see one of Woody Allen's 3,000 movies,
Mm-hmm.
and it was like 2 PM.
It was just called like movie 947.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. And there was no one in the theater except me and my kids. So I'd every now and then I'd just stand up and yell, "Sit down out there!"
For the hell of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
I
kind of sad. They need the biggest problem that they do have, and we're talking to Michelle about that too. What they did at the Edina Theater is so gorgeous.
Yeah,
they've redone all the seating, it's just magnificent.
I went there yesterday to watch. Yeah, I watched Dumb Money, which was a fine movie. But like the experience of the gold bar, everything was so like they still had the Barbie box out front, which was cool to see.
Exactly.
But like the seats, if they reclined anymore, it might as well have just been a mattress. Like it was so comfortable.
I know.
It was amazing. Like
it would have been a $15 nap.
Oh, Kristyn, it's the theater is just what they did to that theater is just magnificent.
And that's the other thing too, is like because she mentioned she wanted to keep it like cost friendly for families to go. Like I think I spent like $43 on 2 tickets, like popcorn, a drink, some candy. It was very cheap. Like I'm used to going and spending like $80 and
one dinner will set you over $100 now.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Easily.
Remember was it the Uptown Theater? Was that the one right on Hennepin Avenue?
Yep.
And
just short of Lake Street.
And that theater, I think they did not remodel it. They didn't do any upgrades at all for like 70 years or
That's
something.
about right. Yes.
So you'd sit down, and the first thing that would happen was the spring in the seat. It'd be like, oh, I just had a colonoscopy.
For free though.
Yeah.
That's true. I loved it though. Now they're redoing that. Is that going to reopen as a venue? It's not going to be a movie theater, I don't think.
Yeah.
Because the Lagoon's right across the street.
Lagoon kind of did them in too.
There were 4 theaters within one block at one point because there was the Lagoon Theater, there was Uptown, there was what was the one that was just south of Lake Street?
Oh yeah, I know which one.
Was it like Granada?
Was it the World Theater?
The Suburban World.
Suburban
that's
World.
Right.
Yeah,
it was the Suburban World, and there was one more too.
Yeah.
at theaters everywhere over there at one point. But that at one point for me was one of my favorite places to hang out when I was a teenager in my early 20s.
Oh, yeah.
I loved that neighborhood, man. It was right by the lakes. You could take a walk around the lakes. There's a lot of great restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Are they trying to bring it back now?
Well, they're trying for sure, but it's, the thing is, it used to be like I'd run around Lake of the Isles. And then I just walk to Uptown.
Yep.
But now I start running in Uptown.
In Uptown, you just start running because you don't like gunfire?
Well, it's in its place.
You don't want to be stabbed?
There's a place for it.
There is a place.
No, they are trying to bring Uptown back. They've got the Ty's Bar and Restaurant that just opened up there. There's Daisy's, which is the old Cowboy Slim's location on the corner.
Sure.
It's a really good music club called the Green Room there.
Yep. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Green Room.
There's a place called Roomba that's like I guess like a Latin Afro beats type of place that's opened up over there. So yeah, they're trying to bring it back. Something for everybody.
I got it going right now. What do you think, Kristyn?
I want to go to that club.
No, it was honestly. Well, you lived here. You know the Uptown area.
Yeah, I mean, I haven't been there in. Last time I was here, I lived in Minnesota was 2004. It's been a while.
I've lived here my whole life. I don't know the Uptown area.
Well, I will tell you this, Andy, that the one scary thing about that is my grandfather, my father's father, who was born, I believe, in like 1888 or something like that. We're on the corner of Hennepin and Lake Street. And he goes, I got to tell you something. I said, what's that? And he goes, when I was your age, I went hunting on this corner.
That's so wild.
He was deer hunting on that corner. Like, what?
People are still going hunting.
I was going to say.
Just a different type of animal.
This was wilderness, and he said it wasn't.
It wasn't. It was just the deer. We opened a fire on the deer.
Is it the most dangerous game or whatever?
The most dangerous game.
Yeah.
I'm like, what? He said this was all just farmland when he was a little boy.
Yeah, that's borderline what I was talking like when we went to Dayton.
Oh, yeah.
Melissa and I went to Dayton like 15 years because we left 2005-ish.
Yep, it was 2005.
And then, we went back in like 2020. Yeah, so 15 years. And I was like, all this crap wasn't here when I left.
Oh, none of it.
We could have owned this all.
We could have owned all this land for $10 an acre, and now it's $10
Talk to
million.
the people who used to live near Disneyland.
Oh, God,
I suppose, yeah.
Yeah, they always have memories of it, and they're like, wow, this place has changed so much.
Mm-hmm.
It just got swallowed up by progress. Is that what happened?
It got swallowed up by Mickey Mouse.
Yes, by Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, and they're constantly expanding it. They're trying to buy. It's not like Orlando where there's acres and acres to continually expand.
Mm-mm.
In Anaheim, it's a set footprint unless a hotel chain sells some of their property to Disney or whatever. But they, in the years since I've even been here, they've knocked down parts of the old Disneyland hotel and build up extra parts of the park because they're just trying to expand any way they can.
I think that's wonderful. Any good? Now, I do want this, and we talked about this with Michelle Mann when she was in studio. I want to start going back to the movies because the movie theaters are very comfortable now. They're not. The movie theaters in Minnesota, and I suppose around the country, got pretty trashy after a while. The seats weren't comfortable anymore. They'd gotten very old, but now they're redoing it. But the problem is they got to put some good movies. I don't want to go see these superhero movies. I have no interest in that.
Well,
You need to go and look, though. There's a lot of old movies that they put on the big screen. If you haven't seen them on the big screen before, like you need to check and see if they're rerunning a film, like a classic film. That's fun to go and see on the big screen.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. What were you saying, Angie?
Melissa and I watched a new movie for once.
Mm-hmm.
We watched Elemental.
No, what's Elemental?
Oh,
again?
Pixar.
The new Pixar movie.
Is it good?
Yeah, it came out this summer.
Yes, it's not like super new, but it's new to us.
This year.
I mean, we're the other thing we're watching right now is Home Improvement. So,
yeah,
Home Improvement.
Did you like Elemental?
It was.
Jesus, what's that? Go ahead.
It was better than I expected it to be, for sure. Because a lot of people are saying they didn't like it.
Yeah.
And it had issues with the plot for sure.
Yeah.
There were a lot of plot points that like kind of didn't even need to be there. They were just like, oh, we need a driving force to make the characters do what we want them to do. But then it's like, okay, they've done it. And now this driving force is kind of a non-issue. It's very weird. I'm not going to spoil it because it's a newish movie.
Yeah.
But the writing and the characters and everything were good. I would call it probably, I don't know.
Did it kind of fall in the Inside Out kind of realm where
Nowhere near as good as Inside Out.
oh, okay.
I was Inside Out.
Inside Out's the movie about the emotions. Joy, who was Amy Poehler.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then like anger and so that sort of thing.
There's a sequel of that coming out too.
Oh,
Yeah, there is, which is
really?
going to be I wonder if they're going to mess it up. I kind of feel like they're going to mess it up.
Probably.
I know. It was
probably
such
are.
a good movie. It was such a good message.
Mhm.
And I think Pixar, they've lost a little bit of their magic, you know.
Yeah.
And it's been one of those things they're trying to sort of like recapture that audience. They found that Gen Z is not as into Pixar as millennials were.
Well, that makes
Where
sense.
it was, a huge part of their childhood. And now Gen Z's like, you know, I don't like run to the movies to go see the latest Pixar movie, but they're also just not running to the movies in general.
Well, millennials remember when having like a 3D rotating cube on the screen blew your mind for
Blew
like
your
a
mind
month.
forever. You'd watch it and try to see if it was going to hit the corner kind
Yeah,
of thing.
exactly. It's like, whoa, it's 3D. I can't believe it. Toy Story 1 is one of the ugliest movies ever made.
It was insane though, but I
But
remember
back
going.
then, oh, God.
I remember
Is this
our
real?
whole family went to Toy Story 2 and we're like ready for round 2. Like we were so
Toy Story
excited.
2 looked a lot better.
But I
the,
mean,
the
we-
early Pixar movies, very ugly.
We just wanted a taste of what Toy Story 1 gave to us.
Yeah,
we
exactly.
We all went as a family. Like our whole family would not go now to like Elemental.
Well,
But
that's the thing. It's movies of any sort aren't unique anymore. They're not novel.
That's
it's like
true.
there's nothing new that the movie theater can really do. There's no
That's
like
true.
this is the big new thing. We lived through
Sphere.
We lived through 3D,
Yeah.
Live
IMAX.
action.
Yeah, we've basically seen
Live
all
action is just
like when's
No,
what
like
was
when
the
they-
last what was the last big advancement in movie theater technology?
Like
would you
when
say?
the Lion King came out with like the live action, like that was the big.
Oh,
thing.
you're seeing because like live action in general is just people
That's
on the screen.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think the next
Like,
big thing.
I know,
You
but
know
when you
what I meant.
first said that, I
Yeah.
was like, well, that's the initial.
like the live action.
My
And
favorite
movies
live
are
action
live
movie
action.
is Casablanca.
I think the next big thing is going to be odors.
I
Odors.
do wonder. They're gonna have to include like
Smell-o-vision. Didn't they used
haptics
to
or
They
do that?
tried smell-o-vision.
Smell-o-vision,
a little
yeah.
bit, yeah.
But you
That
guys,
was
it's
the
the
thing.
sphere. We
The
have to
Sphere.
go
I
see
think
the
you're
Sphere.
right, Britt. I think you're right.
Let's go get just in awe of how
The
big something is.
Sphere.
Yeah, the Las Vegas Sphere.
Kristen, when is the next Gen V release coming out?
Today.
Today? Oh
Yeah,
my
it's
God.
on Friday. So I know it's not exciting. You have something to watch for the weekend. I've got a rogue cat
Beauty.
using the microphone cord.
Yeah, because other than that, I'm watching Lincoln Lawyer on Netflix, which I think I'm hate watching at this point.
I feel that.
Yeah, I feel that too. I've done that
Yep.
quite. I hate watching just like that on HBO.
Well, Kristen, thank you so much for your report. We appreciate what you do for America and this show. So
Yeah, Tom just decided to leave. So.
we'll see you tomorrow, though, right?
I have to be on set tomorrow, so Andy, I'll text you.
Okay.
Sounds good. All right, we'll be back here on the Tom Barnard Morning Show.
This is the Tom Barnard Morning Show. Listen live at tombarnardshow.com or on the Tom Barnard Show app.
Bundling and saving with Geico is an easy choice, so you're free to ponder life's big questions, like what's the best animal in the world if not humans? I'd strongly consider ducks to be somewhere up there on the list. Think about it. Ducks can swim, ducks can fly, and ducks can walk on land. They have access to all terrains. They are the ultimate animal. And they wiggle their butts when they walk, which is funny. Yeah, ducks are awesome. End of story. Bundling and saving with Geico. It's an easy choice.
Where are we on the lineup?
It's official. Avery is producing Main Street Music Days.
We need to be ready. We're going to have lots of people. What's the status on the new sound engineer?
They need an audio technician to keep things level from sound checks to encores.
Make sure audio from one stage does not compete with another.
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I mean, Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
I'm Dr. Stork. Eggs are a staple in our diets, and there's only one egg with more delicious farm fresh taste plus superior nutrition. Eggland's Best. With more vitamins, including 6 times more vitamin D and 10 times more vitamin E, plus 25% less saturated fat than ordinary eggs. Available in so many delicious varieties. Classic, cage-free, and organic. Eggland's Best. Better taste, better nutrition, better eggs.
Yeah, baby. That's how I channel Tom Barnard. This came out on ABC News yesterday, and I thought it was
You didn't say little news, little information.
little news, little information. Let's do the weather quick.
Right.
Just kidding. This came out yesterday. I thought it was interesting to hear you guys' take on it. ABC News is reporting that say goodbye to the COVID-19 vaccination card. The CDC has stopped printing them. So
no, they're collector's items now.
Yeah.
I would have assumed they stopped printing them like
3 years ago.
Yeah.
For real. I don't think I've ever seen one in my life.
Really?
What?
No, I've never seen a person actually like presenting one. I've been to the doctor a lot.
It's
in
the
the
only
past.
way to get on airplanes and into
Yeah.
restaurants. For a
No,
while.
I was.
Mine is up to date.
I
I know
flew.
that I got five of them on there.
I've been watching
You got the rookie card and everything.
Yeah,
I've been watching the morning show.
Yeah.
And the last episode we saw was a flashback to COVID, and it was so well done. I've already repressed what it was like with everybody wearing masks.
I'm not ready
It was
for-
like the inoculation COVID when everybody's just dying like crazy.
You're in season 3?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I don't want to. Season 2, at the tail end of season 2, the morning show really hit like this is the beginning of COVID, and it felt so triggering. And I watched it, but I wanted to know that
Don't watch
season
this
3.
episode because it's right in the middle of season 3. I'm like,
I'm not
It
ready to
really sucked.
to sit in that again.
This is what being married is like when you get to a certain age. You just watch every show there is.
Pretty much, yeah.
Because it's sort of sad to me. But not that my life isn't sad. But I can't.
I don't have a job, Mike. My other option is to sit in the corner.
Oh yeah.
and
Do you
cry.
want to talk about that?
We'll talk about that on
Well,
Car Selling Secrets.
Okay.
I mean, that's why we have gambling, for example.
Oh yeah, that's a great use of time.
Yeah, I find
It's math. It's good for your brain. you know.
it's good for your brain. It's only bad if you lose.
Well, even so in the Dumb Money movie that I saw, they had everybody's wearing masks and stuff, and it's like this big. It feels so far ago or long ago. Like it doesn't it's hard to even comprehend that we went through all.
Well,
of that.
COVID's over unless it kills you.
Right.
Yeah, it is it's funny to think. So I have a card for every time I've gotten my vaccines because I lose everything. So it's funny, like me and Gelfand are such different people. He's like, I've got it all on one card. I'm like, I have 45 cards in different spots. Some are Margot, some are Justin, some are mine. But yeah, it's weird to think, Andy, you never had to present one or saw someone. That was a big
No,
thing.
I flew. I went to hospitals. Did all the things.
Yeah. Well, here I feel like it wasn't as big a deal necessarily. But if I went to New York right after COVID, and it was if you didn't have your vaccine card or the passport on your phone, you couldn't even get into a grocery store.
But again, it was easy to fake because they were just, printed. And so it's kind of funny where it's like when you watch that Adam Ruins Everything and he ruins airport security to you, where you go, this is just something to make everyone feel comcomfortable. It was the same kind of thing. Like they were going, or we'll just take a picture of it. Okay, so is anyone checking your name? No, there's nothing. It was all
No, I hate to be a downer here,
Shocking.
Of course.
Really?
But
after you attacked Doug for watching TV.
So well, listen, I've only begun to do that, but it's the problem is we're going to have someday something it could just be another terrible example of COVID, but it could be something like another polio epidemic. I mean, that will probably happen because there's so many people who aren't getting vaccinated for anything. And when that happens, we're going to have tens of millions of people die because we got all these people now who are saying, oh, no, People are dying because they're getting vaccinated. People believe that crap.
But Gelfand, okay, and I'm not saying you're wrong, and I love vaccines. I would take, if you just handed me a pill right now, I'd take it. I'd no problem. I'd take anything. I don't care. But how is that helpful to verbalize that there could be a polio? Like what?
We've been talking about that for decades. Remember when AIDS was going to kill literally everyone on Earth?
Like, how is it helpful to say that?
It killed a lot of people and would still be doing it if they hadn't come up with some solutions.
Yeah. But like, how is it helpful to say that you go, this is going to happen? Like, how is that like?
Because we are living in an entirely different political, social, economic era now, where you've got all these people, all these maggots, like Joe Rogan and Aaron Rodgers, and then the list goes on, who are telling everyone, don't get a vaccine. It's a fraud. It's a hoax. It ain't a hoax. All those people who died of COVID, that's not a hoax. But now you've got like 35% of the population who won't get vaccinated for anything anymore.
Yeah.
So, and we haven't had that before. I lived through the polio epidemic. I was very, very little kid, but my brother had polio, and it was really savaged him.
Yeah,
he was 5 years old.
It's terrible.
5 or 6 years old. And when the Salk vaccine came along, people could not wait to get that vaccine. But that won't be what happens next time. People will be saying, no, it's a fraud. It's a government hoax. Mm-hmm. So how many people do you think will die then? And I think it's something that's worth talking about, because I think that we're starting to see what these science deniers are going to do to this country and to the world in general. Washington Post came out with a big piece the last couple of days about how far more people in the South are dying of COVID and other diseases, because these are people.
I get what you're saying, but what I'm trying to convey is like, being aggressive towards that group is not going to ever convince them to take a vaccine.
No.
So like my question I'm asking you is like, what's a productive way than calling anyone a maggot? Like, what is a more productive way of convincing people like this is a good thing?
No, you can't convince people. No, those people cannot be convinced. And that's the problem.
Yeah.
But I would like to lay this out, because if there's anyone on the fence, I hope they will understand that these people who are denying science, they're liars. And in many cases, like the Joe Rogans, they're doing it for money.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, or just fame and just
or political.
I mean, I don't know how many times we found out somebody would claim to be an anti-vaxxer, and then you find out that they're have all the vaccines.
Oh, sure.
So it's like either that or they just know their audience and they're pandering.
Yep.
Like,
well, that's it. Yeah. Pandering is what's going on. It's going on in politics. It's going on in science. It's going on in so many ways. So the solution to the COVID problem is what? Is to incarcerate Fauci.
Yeah.
I mean, my God, what has happened?
Well, can't hurt, right? Let's give it a go.
He's got it coming.
I love Andy.
I miss
Can't
it.
hurt, right? Put him in jail, right?
Yeah.
It's like astrology. You never know what's going to happen until you try it, right?
Well, I mean, it was good enough for Galileo. It's good enough for Fauci.
Exactly.
Right?
So funny.
Instead of Mercury being in
retrograde?
Venus, it's a politician in prison.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mercury better not be in Venus.
I don't know what
I'm just
I don't
kidding.
know astrology.
I don't know
terms.
either. I just like to lean
No,
into
they're
the
not
fact
in
that-
other planets. They're in constellations, I think. So it'd be like Mercury and Sagittarius.
I
Well,
just
no, I
know
thought it was always in retrograde.
if things are in retrograde, I just remember I have an
I
excuse
know
to be mean to
retrograde.
everybody.
But I don't know what it means. I just know the word retrograde because it sounds smart.
It does, yeah.
Mhm.
I was impressed.
So I'm gauging is that you're not a big astrology person.
No,
near Andy.
but I like to claim it. I like to ask people what they are and then go, wait, what are you?
Aries.
Oh my God, you're
Dude,
such an Aries.
I have a friend that's like that.
I love that.
I'll say something, he'd be like, "That's just so Aries."
That's
of you.
such
And I'm
an
like,
Aries.
Shut
It's my favorite thing to just piss people off. Because if you look at me, and you go, she loves astrology. Like there's something, I got that vibe of like, she definitely dresses her pets and she loves horoscopes.
Reeks of patchouli oil.
Mhm.
Melissa's told me her sign multiple times. I still don't remember it.
I forget
When is she born?
Late December.
I don't know.
Oh, well, of course.
It's one of those
I don't know what that
Decemberites.
I know-
Capricorn, isn't it?
I
I
could
think
be. I don't even know. I don't know
Tom-
Ethan's sign, even though our birthdays are a week
I
apart.
think Tom and Justin are both Scorpios.
Yeah, I am too.
I am. Wow. It's a lot of Scorpios in one room.
Oh,
Oh, man.
fear the sting of the scorpion.
I miss the days when people read newspapers and when there was always the astrology.
Yep, the
column.
horoscopes every time.
I love it. That's actually
You
a
are
nice
going to find
icebreaker.
$1 today.
When I would have that in my hand, I would say, "What's your sign?" and read it to people just because, like, I end up in rooms with people I just met.
Yeah. Well, and then because horoscopes, they're all just so vague that you can.
It's always like, you'll have
some dots.
Imagine if that was your job back in the day to write the
be a great
horoscope
job.
column.
I know.
You will have luck at some point in the future.
You guys, some of them are specific, and it gets a little weird. Where it's like, "Do not go to that party tonight." And you're like,
Oh, if I was the guy writing the fortunes, I'd definitely be like, you're going to find $1 on the corner of Fifth Avenue. One of these people out there will find $1 at a street somewhere.
Because I'm going to go out there and search for it.
Exactly.
And one reason I like going to Chinese restaurant is because of the fortune cookie. Because when I crack that open and I read my fortune, generally it's the only good news I'll have all week.
All right, you guys. I leave for 10 minutes. Nothing just falls apart.
You don't know. We had
We
great.
fixed a lot of stuff.
ratings
That's
went
what I
up.
heard.
Yeah. Oh, the rating shot through the roof.
Can I bring our guests in?
Well, I think
we have a guest.
Our guest.
Yeah.
Talking about the crash.
You're
burn?
out.
I know. I was gonna. That's why I was gonna help transition.
You're out of the mix.
I know. I was gonna help transition.
Get away from
I'm
me.
unplugging.
Okay, Brittany's out of here. So wait, which mic is she at this point? Is she 4? Okay, she must be.
You must be 4.
Okay, we're rearranging the mics every day now because of a buzz.
Yeah, we're gonna have to stop doing that. We have to figure it out.
Well, I'm coming in tomorrow to adjust things.
All right, how many mics do we have open?
I don't know, but I can
0,
I'll bounce off
1.
of this one and let the crash and burn guys come in.
All right, that's fine.
All right, so that's 3.
What's that? Crash and Burn. They do that every year at Acme. You'll like them. They're very funny guys. Oh, you'll love it. You will love it. What's that?
All
That's
right,
fine. We can rotate everybody in. It's not
I
gonna be
guess
a
this is
problem
the
at
show
all.
transition portion.
In Oregon.
Should I?
Someone knows their sports hats.
What's that?
This is probably the weirdest and last car selling secrets episode for a while. We have tons of guests in the studio, which we'll introduce shortly. This is no longer sponsored by anybody because as of last Friday, I was terminated from my position. Although they've got a unique deal. They let you go at 4:30 in the afternoon and they pay you right up until 5 o'clock.
Oh, wow. Half an hour of extra
That's
money.
pretty sweet.
That's what we call a balloon.
We in the car business, they call that the GTFO package.
Yeah.
You know what's great? I don't even need a mic. I can just talk like this.
Oh, it sounds great.
Yeah.
It really sounds
Really
like
good.
you're right next to a
You're all terrible.
classic Neumann.
Yeah, that's a Neumann, exactly.
Joining us in studio to my right,
Tim Slagle.
Mike Gelfand, sidekick.
Tommy Ryman.
Last and certainly least,
Patrick Groffalo.
Okay,
state representative and sports fan. I don't know.
So the original show, we were going to pair Pat and Mike up and talk about politics. Pat's a Republican in the state legislature, and we've got some comedians. Let's talk about Crash and Burn first.
Can I do one thing? You know what I'm
Yeah,
gonna
you
do?
could get a little closer to the mic.
Honestly, share a mic.
I'm gonna go call into the show.
There you go.
Honestly, I could send him a StreamYard link on his phone. That could work.
Okay, I'll go.
Sure.
Yeah,
is going to be
come in the producer booth and I'll get that set up.
Go ahead.
People often ask me what podcasting is like, and I tell them you really don't want to know.
Usually
It's
not like
basically any
this.
asshole with a laptop and a USB microphone's a podcaster. So let's talk Crash and Burn.
Crash and Burn is this week. This will be the third show tonight at acmecomedycompany.com. What it is 13 years ago, I decided to invite 3 other comedians to join me putting together new sets. So we just have a couple rules. Is Tuesday night you have to go out on stage with comedy material that you've never done on any stage before, anywhere. And so it's just reading straight out of the notebook. And then the 4 of us get together all week and we work on that material and work it out every single night through all the shows. And hopefully by Saturday, we have we all have a brand new 20 minutes of comedy.
And I know a little bit about how comedians work. That to develop a 20-minute set or whatever normally takes a lot of work. It's very
intensive. It's very intensive. Tommy actually lives in town, but I'm making him stay at the hotel so that he doesn't have any distractions. So that we do the show, we give each other notes, we go to bed, we get up, we write.
There's room checks. You make sure I'm there. It's
Uh-huh.
like prison.
Right.
It's like
no women.
Yeah.
No women.
Yeah. It's. I thought there was going to be more activities like water slides.
That's right.
Mini golf.
So
but it's just right.
Camaraderie building exercises. Fall off the ladder.
You were looking for the Hilton. You got Travelodge. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of material there.
Right. Yeah. No. Yeah. The 20 minutes is all just about me staying in the hotel. No.
So how good does it get by the end? Because like I say, that's a really compressed period.
It's a real fun transition, and a lot of hardcore comedy fans will come multiple nights throughout the week so that they can see, or at least if you come in Tuesday and come in Saturday, you're going to almost see two
totally
completely different shows. Yeah, so it's fascinating to watch if you like to see the sausage getting made, so to speak.
And who doesn't?
Yeah, you're right.
That's why I'm not a sports fan anymore, because I saw it being made in the locker rooms when I covered the Twins. After that, you can't root for anyone.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear about sausage being made in the locker room.
Yeah. Well, now that's a different story. I could tell you who had the biggest sausage, but I won't.
Oh boy. Well, no, we don't want to.
Well,
no, actually, I do. I want to know. Who had the biggest.
I can't tell you except that it was Vita Blue.
Recently passed, didn't he? Die this summer?
I think he did.
Yeah.
Had an erection and all the blood rushed out of his head.
Well, let me just say, I saw the obit and it was like 16 inches long.
Oh God!
Wow.
That one brought everything to a
Yeah, I don't know where to go with that.
Yeah, we're all visually choking up. We're all visualizing choking up on that bat.
So you guys have 3 more shows tonight, Friday and Saturday?
Yeah, we have tonight. And tonight's a real special thing because we always give notes to the other comics after the show. But Thursday night, we let the audience stay and we do the notes right on stage. So actually, even if you didn't see the show, if you might have seen a previous show, earlier in the week, you want to come in after the show and sit down at the club, and we'll do the notes.
Do you write notes that are trying to crack the audience up, like that joke "so old it's in the Bible"? Or
that was funny.
It was an illustration.
I'm sorry. I just became angry and vicious. Just probably I don't know what happens. Comics come in, I don't get a laugh, and then immediately I flip.
Yeah.
It's like politics.
All right, I think maybe we might have Tom with us.
Oh.
I've never liked the show.
Long time listener, first time caller. Identify yourself.
He's calling into his own show.
God, 10 minutes ago he was here, and now he's calling in from New Brighton.
Yes.
So I have a question for Tom and Mike. Now that the Twins are progressing in the playoffs, I think it was about the middle of June. You guys went on a 3-hour rant about how shitty the Twins were. Are you still following the team, or did you give
actually,
up
I think
on
it was how mediocre they were. And they
do
have.
I think we've got it.
They do have the word. Well, actually, if you'd been here and listened,
did you read the transcript?
If you'd been here and listened, I mean, in the last 3 or 4 weeks, I was talking about how they could honestly win at least 2 games, and which they've done now. Now that doesn't mean they won't win another game, but this team changed a lot in the last, say, 6 to 8 weeks.
Yeah, they sure did.
And everything just kind of came.
I was
together.
actually here in August, if you remember, and I was concerned that the Twins were going to get into the playoffs.
Yeah.
And screw up the crash and burn because there's no parking when the Twins play. And I was assured on this very podcast that there was no way the Twins would ever be in the playoffs, that you were going to have great attendance and ample parking for crash and burn.
They would have had to lose 25 straight games by mid-August.
I mean, they were the only team in the division trying to win.
Yeah.
So let's just
True. That's true.
Here. I mean, the biggest change in the last, and again, I'm happy they won, but the biggest change they had the last 6 weeks of the season is they had one of the weakest schedules in Major League Baseball.
And they had Royce Lewis too.
Yeah, what a machine.
I mean, who
incredible
knew?
Story.
Yeah, because he not single-handedly, but he was one of the biggest. You take him away, they weren't going to win game one.
Right.
So, but he's made a huge difference too. But and he's never been able to stay healthy very long. But no, this team now. I mean, it is true that people did underestimate them. People were saying, like, oh, the Arias trade was horrible. They wouldn't be here without the Arias trade either.
Right.
So a lot of things went right.
No, they did, and it's I had to call my son yesterday and explain to this feeling that he was having. I'm like, what you're experiencing is joy. This is like a Minnesota team winning in a playoff series. This is
But we're still Charlie Brown, and they're still Lucy holding the football. It's just
no, but I mean, the thing is, they beat Toronto in a 2-game series at home. That's good. They're going to go down to Houston, and I listen. I'm out of the business of making sports predictions after the last couple of years, but the Astros have been very poor at home this year, and they're quite full of themselves.
That's true. They're much better on the road.
They are,
which
and
is
so
weird, yeah.
And I don't want to get carried away here, but when I was watching this team celebrate and the plays that are going on, it's kind of got a 1987 vibe.
Oh yeah,
the young team. No one gives them any chances. No, they didn't get the memo. They're supposed to lose. It seems like they like each other.
I would have liked to have been there when been there at Tom's place, or you were actually at the game. But when Thielbar came in, you had to lose all hope, right?
Yes, you're absolutely right. I was like, oh God, what are we doing here? And then Jax can be a little rough too. When he came in, I'm like, oh my God, what are we doing? You're right.
But Griffin Jax turned everything. He turned the whole vibe around when he, instead of tagging the runner, tackled him.
He did.
Perfect tackle. What was that all about? What was the deal? Like he was afraid the guy was gonna like run around him or something.
Well, in sports we call that making a statement. But it was an incredibly foolish play, because he could have just gotten the ball, stepped back, thrown to first. Now that said, he had the right of way. A lot of fans don't know that, but the fielder has the right of way. Right. It's up to the runner not to crash into. Right. So he did absolutely everything right. But and if he had dropped the ball, the runner still would have been called out. So it was a win-win, except for the fact that he may have injured himself.
He just demolished the guy. I was like, is this what they practice this? This is what they're supposed to do?
Well, he does have a military background. That's true.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No, he was in the Air Force, as I recall.
Oh, but no, I'm just glad to see those guys win, and we'll see what happens in Houston on Saturday. But how about all 4 of the wild card series? They all were 2-game sweeps.
Well,
there was
when you win the first game, you have a tremendous advantage because now the other team, the team that lost, panics, and they have to bring everybody they can out of the bullpen, and then you have managers over managing. Exactly like Schneider did when he took Barrios out after 3 2/3 innings, and the guy was just sailing along.
Well, for those of us who've seen Barrios pitch with the Twins, when he was with us, he's a very hot and cold pitcher.
Right.
Sometimes he has it, sometimes he doesn't. He had it yesterday. He was on the Twins were confused. They were not making good contact. And then he pitches around Lewis, which is totally defensible.
Yeah.
The manager yanks after 3 innings.
He issues a 7-pitch walk to the most dangerous hitter on the team, and the manager comes out. He was good for 2 more innings easily.
Oh yeah, and so but he had his stuff. He like Barrios. He that was. And what's funny is very rarely is social media right about anything, but on social media. Everybody from Toronto, Minnesota, National, people are like, "Yeah, he shouldn't have done that.
Yeah,
that was a mistake."
That's the kind of thing that I'm just looking over at Doug when I say this, but could get a guy fired.
I know you were going.
I didn't mean to trigger you, but
no, that's fine.
So no, that was and then that play by Correa, the pickoff move.
Oh, that was brilliant.
It reminded me of again 87 again. Shit, it must be old. I just keep referencing old things. But that's how long it's been since there's been good sports news. And
yeah, it was 70 then, so don't worry about it.
But do you remember when Gaetti picked off and Laudner picked off Darrell Evans at third base in Detroit?
No, but
yes.
Tell me about it.
So no, that was a great play where Darrell Evans from the Tigers he was slow, but he would hop off of third base. He had this little dance.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
Yeah, and then Laudner saw the sign, they picked him off, and
yeah.
So it was
and when Guerrero got picked off second, I just loved the look on his face. It just told the whole story. There was a man in an instant had lost all hope.
But he wasn't leaving the field.
No, he wasn't leaving.
He was laying there waving his hand like somehow he was gonna be Superman and reverse the course of time and go back.
I thought he was gonna, pull a political thing and say, "I'm staying here. I'm not moving."
That's right.
Yeah,
I was actually safe. No, you were.
He was a baseball call denier. Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah.
Wanted to appeal the decision.
The game's
tried to hire ref.
And who knows? If it was in Toronto, maybe he could have had some guys come out and start threatening the umpires or something like that. It worked in DC so well.
Oh man, it was sweet though. I'm not a Twins fan. I'm not a fan of any one team unless I'm betting on them. But I will say, I did bet on the Twins both games.
Okay.
Because I just thought they had better pitching and Toronto's nothing special, but you always wonder though. You'd have to wonder if the Twins could win in the postseason. Not just because they hadn't won in since. What was it, 21 years? Is that it?
Yep. That's 21 years.
31.
But
1991, right?
Yeah, that was 31 years ago.
Yeah.
Well, I'm talking about when they last won a playoff game.
I think it was 04.
Yeah.
04 or 05. It's one of the two. Yeah.
So, but the thing is, this is a totally different situation. They've got when you have two good pitchers, everything changes. There were so many starting pitchers in baseball who got hurt this year that any team that was left with two really solid pitchers they do have a huge advantage. Now Houston has two really good pitchers, so that's pretty even there.
So do you got any action in terms of bets on the World Series at all or not?
No, I didn't make any future book bets. There's so much juice there. It's a terrible bet.
So here's what I did. Not that you're asking, but I'll tell you anyways. So early on in the season, to me, it looked like the Twins were going to be the only team that really wanted to win their division. And so I put a bunch of money down on the Twins to win the World Series with the full intent that I'm going to hedge against them in the playoffs.
Sure.
And so that's where I'm at right now. And I just have to decide how much I want to hedge against it. But I got, throughout the season, I bought them. The best odds I got were 35-1.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, down to 28. And the math just works. That even
if you're
if
going to be in the next, you figure you're going to be in the,
right. So
you win two games.
Right. So the biggest, for me for a while there, I thought like they had a chance at being the second best record and getting a wild card bye.
Yeah.
When the AL West fell apart. But so for me, the hardest decision was, do I hedge in the wild card round? And thank goodness there was never an elimination game, so I didn't have to do that. So now that's my big decision now going against Houston is, do I bet series? Do I bet games? And how much do I do?
I have an interesting question. It's interesting that this came up because I don't know anything about gambling, but we have a mutual friend, Kurt Brown, used to write. Kurt and I went to college together, and he posted something on Facebook. He put $4 at the beginning of the season on the Twins to win the World Series. And now he's getting, and I don't know what the gambling services is, but if you want to cash up, we'll give you 12 right now.
Right.
Oh,
so
yeah.
Is that the way it works?
Yeah, some of them do.
It's pretty rare, but there are those opportunities. Yeah. I the way I feel, having gambled on sports for about 40 years now, I look back and my advice to people would be never hedge.
See, it's fascinating you say that because I am the exact opposite. I am like, it's not about the money.
You think it's a political thing?
No. It's about winning.
Hey, he's used to, he reaches across the aisle.
Absolutely.
So.
And but for me, like, I don't expect the Twins to win the World Series, but there was going to be a team coming out of their division. And the odds were so long that just mathematically you're locked into some sort of profit. So for me, I just view it as like, I view it as I'm going to win something. It's just a matter of how much do I want to do? When you can get 35x on your bet, that's what. So it's interesting you say that because I probably over hedge, but it's about winning.
Well,
right?
Being a horse player, the one thing I know is that you cannot play the horses for like 35 years as I have. You can't do it without hitting things big. You need to make that $120 to win horse. You need to win that pick six that pays $30,000. Those are the things that will sustain you, and then you will lose on basically every other bet. So it's all about that one big hit. So, but that's looking back. I mean, that's forward thinking. Not when I was younger. No, you're not younger either, but you're a lot younger than me. But the point is, if you look back and you can see that, you start thinking, I'm not going to hedge here, and I'm not going to bet a horse that pays 7-5. You're always looking for that score.
See, I only bet on the corgi racing at Canterbury. Because that's what I know the bet. I know dogs.
It's one of the most popular days there.
That's a riot.
And I always hedge too on that. So. Gotta hedge on the corgis.
Who's got the shortest legs?
Yeah. So earlier this year you had, and again, I respect what you're saying, Mike, but earlier this year we had this situation where Oregon was playing Colorado.
Oh yes.
And it was one of these sports contests where you see them about once every 2 or 3 years, where the betting public was so wrong betting on Colorado.
Yeah.
The sports books could not appropriately price Oregon. So they were a 21.5 point favorite. They were supposed to be, and they should have been like about a minus 1,500 on the money line, which means, you have to bet $1,500 to win 100.
Yeah.
That's what they should have been.
Right.
But in reality, they had to price them at 700 or 800.
Right.
And so for me, I look at something like that as like, I'm winning, I'm beating the system, but that's a once every couple of years thing.
Also a lot of times when you say, the casinos made a big mistake here. No, that's you about to make a mistake.
Right.
It's you got to trust the line most of the time. It's pretty accurate, but you're right. That was one of those times. Well, look, the Twins opened as for the second game. The Twins, the line was Twins minus 122 because that's when I bet it, and it went to 145. So that's a big deal. Everybody was on the Twins, and they were right there.
Yeah, and it's the case with Oregon, of course. The reason why that was so strange was because there was so much money on the underdog. They have risk management guidelines. They could not price the favorite the way that they wanted to. There'd just be too much. They'd have too much exposure. But it was just the one before. Like, remember when Merriweather fought McGregor?
Oh, sure, yeah.
When they
two great guys, by the way.
So.
I'm sorry to ruin the joke, but Dad's actually gone.
Yeah. Feeling he was. Dang it.
Gosh, once again, Tom gets us. He gets us to get ourselves.
Ironically, he got the last laugh.
He did. He got
I did that once too on the old studio.
That was like 5-6 years ago.
No, that was 10 years ago because we were in the little room.
Oh, that's
and he was in
Yeah.
Florida. And
Yep.
we broke for break. I said, "Hey, let's fuck with Tom. When we come back, don't everybody just shut up, and he'll think that there's an equipment failure." And he just went ballistic.
Yeah, he does not like equipment failure. Not a fan.
And one thing that you learn quickly about radio guys, they are just programmed to fill any more than a second of dead air. So if there's any break at all, he won't even notice that he's doing it because I'll do that to him every once in a while.
Mhm.
Just kind of fills in the
Silence is boredom, right? For radio?
That's right. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Well, there's also a thing that people not in the radio biz don't know is that they actually have alarms that will start blaring if they detect more than like 2 or 3 seconds of uninterrupted silence.
Now we never had that.
Like screaming alarms.
Engineer booth, yeah, there's alarms that are going to go off, and they're going to be like, "Warning, warning, silence." It's like, so these radio hosts are like, I cannot let that happen.
They're like, it's kind of like that FEMA alert we got the other day.
Yeah, that's what
it's
I
kind of
was
like that. They just jam.
That was annoying.
I thought so.
I have all the alerts turned off on my phone. They had no right to do that to my phone.
Yeah. So if I understand it right, if your phone is on Do Not Disturb, it still goes off.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I think
but there's a section where you can go on the phone and you can say, I want amber alerts. But I don't want gray alert or silver alerts. I want, weather alerts. All my alerts are off. I don't want any alerts, and it still went off.
I'd want the alert. If the nukes are coming in, I'm going to drive as fast as I can to downtown Minneapolis. I don't want to be around after.
I don't want to know. I want to live in ignorance. Like, hey,
do you really?
I want to have a nice tan for about 1/10 of 1 second, and that's going to be it.
What's that really bright light over there?
No, but isn't it interesting the technology involved there? That like here you are, you have your phone, you say, I do not want to be notified, and it's like the technology companies and the government are like, no, we're going to notify.
Yeah,
you.
it's, I don't
You're
want
safe.
I don't want the microphone on.
I programmed it to let them know about crash and burn. The whole country is going to know, and you should appreciate that.
Well, it's like, what was it like?
Hawaii.
Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. In Hawaii, someone accidentally sent out an alert that was like, warning, nuclear missile strike.
Yeah, that's right.
It was supposed to be a test, but they sent out the actual alert. And I've seen a picture of the interface they used to test and send out the alerts. It's one of the worst interfaces. Anyone would have made that mistake. It's like if you resize it just right, it lines up so it says like test missile alert, but you're actually clicking on send missile alert.
Oh, wow.
Really have to like be careful with that sort of thing. You can't tell an entire state that they're about to die without having some repercussions.
Yeah, it's always got to be a big red button. That's
right.
What,
The
yeah,
big
exactly.
shiny
It's
red
gotta have
button.
a,
It says
yeah,
don't
molly
touch.
cover
don't
over
touch.
it. Uh-huh.
Exactly.
Two
people involved.
I had a friend of mine who actually lives in our neighborhood. Her and her husband were in Hawaii when that happened. And they got the notification, and the reaction was exactly what you would expect from most people, which was, I wonder what that means.
Really? Are you kidding me?
Nope. They said people were like, oh well, they just put the phone back down. Like people were in restaurants and stuff. Like
It's hard to believe, I would think, because it's like, first off, who's going to nuke Hawaii? I mean, aside from
I grew up in the 60s,
I know.
and we had those civil defense drills all the time, and there was some weird perverse thinking that went like this. Well, first they'll take out New York and Washington, and then they'll get Billings, whatever town you lived in was going to be number 3, because Billings, Montana is where they make the ball bearings for the tanks.
Yeah,
so we're third to die.
Every city had like we're part of the war for real.
That's
I
right.
swear.
Yeah, people would brag about what position they were,
Right.
Which wave of nukes.
We're right behind Washington.
We drink so much beer that the aluminum cans can be made into
That's right.
tanks at 5 a day.
What was it? That stuff about North Dakota, if they seceded from the Union, they'd be the world's 3rd largest nuclear power.
Yeah.
So like, all the missiles are there. But
it's going to hit Williston, I tell you.
The actual message was ballistic missile threat inbound to Hawaii. Seek immediate shelter.
Yeah.
This is not a drill.
Mhm.
And I suppose, if you're on the beach in Waikiki and you see that, you're
Where
like,
am I going to go?
like,
It's
what,
too late.
Yeah, it's too late. Whatever.
Well, and also we're so inundated with warnings and danger stickers all over everything. People just start ignoring them.
Absolutely, it's absolutely happening.
I can tell you where they take it seriously. I spent a little time in Israel in a previous job.
Well, yeah, Israel's a little different.
And we were talking to some people in Tel Aviv, because they have all these shelters in every building. They're walls this thick and steel reinforced. And I was talking to this guy, and I said, so when the missile alert goes off and they fire up the Iron Dome, pretty much how much time do you have to try to seek shelter? And he goes, about 15 seconds. I'm like, holy shit.
Wow.
But they're so used to it because they grew
Because it
up.
happens.
They grew up that way.
Plus, my people are very fast.
Hence all the Jews in the Olympics.
There is a historical precedent there for your people when they hear someone is after them to believe the alert.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's right.
Yeah.
We get out the slingshot and we run.
So I was thinking about this. We were talking about like false alarms and people not believing them and stuff. So we have this problem down in southern Minnesota on Interstate 35 with they had all these fatalities with the road construction they're doing down there. And they've got signs and blinking lights everywhere like saying, hey, traffic is going to be stopping. It's narrowing down to 1 lane. Do the zipper merge, all literally flashing lights. And they just had people just barreling into stopped cars in front of them because they're not paying attention.
No, they're sending a text.
Yeah, right. I mean, but like people are just ignoring the warnings because we become, for various reasons, we excessively warn people.
And
so
all
they
these,
just don't
all these
believe it.
people are looking at their phone while they're driving. And that's just the Uber drivers.
I know.
You got to trick them and say like big sale coming up.
Right.
Like slow down.
Flat screens, $50 off.
Free TVs.
On the other hand, last summer I was on Excelsior Boulevard, this big stretch, and there was a huge jam. Cars went back for miles. And you never moved more than like 1 car length at a time. And in the middle of this, every now and then, there's a road construction worker holding up a sign that says slow.
I was going so fast. Thank God you're here. I had no idea.
No, that's the taxpayer dollar being wasted.
No way. That's the job I always wanted. If I was in construction, was the guy that can do slow and then spin it to stop and then just mess, and then you get to control that car.
Can you imagine doing that for 8 hours?
So much power, though.
I was just thinking that, like, yesterday we drove by one of those people, and it's like he's not on his phone or anything. He's literally just like standing there looking off at the horizon, waiting for the signal to switch the thing. It's like, God, that's got to be one of the worst jobs on earth.
I don't know. Sounds awesome to me. No responsibility.
Yeah.
You're getting paid no matter what. Stare at the sun. Think about what you're going to do for the weekend.
It's true.
Get a nice tan.
Yeah, but just think about having that job, say in Florida, when it's 115 degrees outside and you're getting paid $6 an hour.
Or Minnesota during the winter.
Yeah.
And you're getting paid any amount because it's not enough.
No, it isn't.
Well, I think in Florida, it's better to hold the sign than to be walking behind the asphalt truck with a shovel.
Yeah, that's right.
The steaming hot asphalt.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's actually cool compared to the rest of the older asphalt at that point in the summer.
Yeah, well, in Minnesota, we don't build roads anyways. We're too busy shoveling money into these trains that no one wants to ride.
Here we go.
We made it half an hour.
Yeah.
I mean, because that's what we need right now is we need a train from St. Paul to Duluth.
Yes. That's right.
That's what we're spending.
Yeah.
Never mind the fact that you can drive up there, or if you don't have the money or a car, you can take a bus. No, we're gonna build a train because somebody went to Germany and saw that it worked there. Never mind the fact that Germany's got 80 million people and we're a state of 5.5 million.
And plus, you don't really want to encourage anyone to go to Duluth.
Yeah, no
I mean, our economy is struggling enough here in the cities.
Have you guys been to Duluth lately?
Yeah,
it's cool.
I liked it.
No, like, have you been downtown?
Yeah. We went a year ago.
So I'm not talking Canal Park. I'm talking downtown.
No, we were all over the place. My wife's best friend grew up there, so she took us to all these different places.
So they've got just a slight, and I'm being sarcastic here. They've got a massive drug homeless.
Oh God, yeah,
problem.
Absolutely.
Do they really?
Oh, it is.
You just don't look at them though.
Okay, well.
Then they don't exist.
No,
exactly.
I mean, is it fair to say like, when I was there?
Not my
I mean, this was like we're talking Chicago level
It,
problems.
we went to Duluth probably 8-9 years ago, something like that. It was real bad then. Last year, I didn't notice too much, so I think it's improving.
And drugs are getting there from the train, or how did they get up there?
Well, there's no train yet, so they're walking up the tracks to deliver
They
it.
came out of the mines. I think that's what
How
happened.
can you be homeless in Duluth?
That's a tough city.
Yeah, you'd think you'd just like kind of die over the winter.
But keep this in mind. If you read any article these days about like, okay, with all the climate problems, with everything else, what's the best place in America? What's the place that's most likely to survive all this? It's Duluth. People are being told, go to Duluth.
Yeah, and it's weird that it's not happening.
It's
people are actually going to Florida, Texas, Tennessee.
Oh yeah.
They're not.
For me personally, and there's this huge shift taking place in the country, right? Of people moving, like self-sorting for various reasons. And the places where people are moving to tend to be places where insurance companies are leaving.
Yeah.
Which is just like, to me, that's, you talk about, that does not seem like it's in alignment. But like in Minnesota, we should be a state that's prospering and benefiting and having people move here. We're not. We're now a negative population migration.
Well, why should it be prospering? But I'm not sure what.
Why do you deserve to prosper?
Well, no,
I don't say that.
If you think about the game changer COVID was, right? So now you got a bunch of people that figured out they can work from anywhere. So the amenities that we naturally market to people are good parks. You can go fishing. Wildlife. You can come to Minnesota and have those benefits and still make
high taxes.
Well, I mean, so I'm telling you what it should be and what it is.
Long life expectancy.
Yeah.
Who wants that? Who wants to be alive when they're 85?
High crime downtown areas.
And again, as a lifelong Minnesotan, like I'm telling you, like aspirationally what we should be, and then there's what is happening. So again, so I'll give like a frame of reference, not to. You can cut me off if you want to talk about something else interesting. But so every year the IRS publishes data on migration because the IRS knows where everyone is because they need to know where you are to get your money.
Yeah, if anyone's going to know where anyone is, it's the IRS.
And so you would expect that places like Texas, Florida, they're going to do really well, right? We're just less tolerant to cold weather. People retire. So if you compare Minnesota to Wisconsin, right? Similar demographics, similar size state. Wisconsin lost $63 million in migration. So that means you add up the people who move in, you subtract the people who leave. They lost $63 million of income.
So
Minnesota lost $1.5 billion.
Yeah.
Okay. So like
this is income tax.
This is adjusted
Sales
gross,
tax, all
adjusted
that?
gross income.
Okay.
So just top line, what's their AGI?
Right.
And again, people can dispute why it's happening or how it's happening, but right now we're in a situation where people are denying it's happening, and denial is a really shitty response to a bad problem.
But it's also very Minnesotan. So there is that.
So like we are, I mean, again, I love Minnesota. I've lived here my whole life. There's a lot of good things about it, but we are trending the wrong way.
Well, also we have, I mean, the population just keeps getting older and older.
That was my question.
So a lot of those people are in Minnesota and they're moving to warmer places.
Yeah, but Wisconsin isn't like younger than us. They're not warmer than us.
I wonder
No,
actually.
they're just stupid. That's all.
No, I mean Wisconsin's a little bit bigger than us. We do tend to be wealthier than Wisconsin, so you would expect more seniors to live to be able to afford to migrate, have the second home, and go elsewhere. And it's a complicated problem, but right now the biggest problem, in my perspective, we have is we can't even get people to acknowledge it's happening. It's like we are bleeding people money and investment. Now, we don't suck as bad as Illinois, thank God. We don't have that going for us, but we're definitely on the pathway to get some of the policy outcomes you're seeing in Illinois. And that's not a good thing. And yeah, it's easy for me to rip the shit out of the Democrats and say they're the problem, but the real problem is we used to do a better job in this state of having balance and working together. And now we've been hijacked.
Well, and I'm glad that as a Republican, you're saying this because I'm hoping you can get a lot of the Republicans in Minnesota to move.
Well, that's, in all seriousness,
who do you think is moving?
Yeah. I mean, I mean, in all seriousness, I mean, from the political side of things, maybe that's one of the reasons why you see so many on the left being indifferent to it. If economic stagnation is the price we have to pay to have a more politically blue liberal state, that's a price they're willing to pay. And I mean,
as I say, I do recommend you read some of the stories that they're published in the last couple of days in the Washington Post, because it's a good investigative piece. They put a lot of numbers together. And the conclusion is that people in red states, especially in the South, they ain't living very long these days.
Right, but that's not new. That's because they have unhealthy lifestyles. This is true. They're predominantly
also much worse health care. And that's a big thing. That's a huge thing. Also an indifference to a lot of the things that are killing people. So, and it's like I remember it was the governor of, it might have been Louisiana, and they were asking the guy about why the per capita deaths from COVID were so high there. And he said, well, it's because we believe in God. It's like,
can't wait to meet him.
The governor of Louisiana is a Democrat, so that might be another state. But
is he really though?
He is. Well, I mean, it's like a
sort of.
Right.
He's not a dino, is he?
But no, like you look at these states, and you're absolutely right about their life expectancy and stuff like that. But it's because they tend to be overweight.
Mm-hmm.
They don't exercise enough. They eat like shit. Like those predispositions, along with age, are what primarily drove things.
Yeah.
And just to be clear, I heard you're like, I'm vaccinated, for COVID. I got that. But I think the vast majority of Americans would look and say, the idea that you should be fired from your job because you refused to get the COVID vaccine, like that's not the proper role of government. We're not talking about smallpox here or something like that. But again, my point is that Minnesota right now, like we have to do a better job being balanced, not having a small number of people make a bunch of decisions for our state.
But getting back to comedy, it is interesting that the states where you have the most what can only be called religiosity, people going to church more often, more people attending church, more people who believe in God. These are the states that's a factor, because these people were saying, so COVID kills me. It doesn't matter. I've been washed in the blood of Jesus. I got a place waiting for me. It is a factor.
My gut tells me that Minnesota has fairly high church attendance.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say.
Well, they're just Lutherans. They're just quiet about it.
Yeah, we practice, like we just don't like talking about
it. The Lutherans don't even count. I mean, anyone named Larson or Anderson, I just throw them out.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just like, where they like in Florida, where anyone named Muhammad was stricken from the voter rolls,
Right.
Or Jones. It didn't really matter.
Washington.
Yeah, same thing. But actually, it is the southern states, the states that would be considered to be where they would have the most religiosity. Louisiana, I think, is number one. They're number one in almost everything.
But the religion they practice there is voodoo.
Well, that's a certain segment, yes.
And they only do that for the tourists.
But they make great food, so it's okay.
Minnesota is fairly religious, yeah.
It's a Lutheran state.
I just don't trust states where they don't bury their dead. That's my problem with them. So
not all about the cremation.
No, I meant like they had the crypts because the water table in Louisiana.
Right. Yeah.
So they bury them above, or they don't bury them. They just put them in,
cover them in gasoline.
Entombed.
It happens.
No, that's not me. But I'd be curious. I mean, where do you guys think Minnesota's going? You guys have lived here a while.
You're asking the wrong people. I mean, we have hardcore Republicans here. So go ahead, Bill.
I'm a Democrat, but
there you go.
I enjoy it. It seems like it's going in the right direction for where I am. I live in Richfield, Minnesota. My neighborhood's great. And,
first ring suburb that works.
Yeah, I walk over to where my boomer parents bought the house in Edina that I can't afford to live, but I get to use their facilities, and then I live in my house. And I don't know. I like all the social programs are getting better, but I think it is too polarized, and we need to discuss.
Well, it is polarized because it is true that liberals will give you one answer and conservatives will give you the other.
Yeah. Well, it's both parties have record numbers of crazy people right now.
Yeah. Can I say something here? You know what really grinds me is that people who supported the lockdowns during the pandemic still call themselves liberal. Well, what went on during the pandemic is the most illiberal thing that has ever happened in my entire life. You are no longer allowed to call yourself a liberal. You are a leftist.
It's fascinating.
And this is a rightist saying that we're no longer able to call ourselves a leftist. This is not going to solve the problem. Is all I'm saying. And but we're the same way.
It bugs me. It bugged me. It's like, oh no, you can't leave. You have to close down your business. You have to stay in your house because I'm a liberal.
Well, it's worse than that though.
I'm sorry, that grinds me.
But as a policymaker, I saw this firsthand, right? So the same people telling us that we had to close down churches and neighborhood hardware stores said the liquor stores were going to stay open and Target and
the one
big
that
box
really
retailers could stay
ground
open.
my gears was his buddy with a candy store out in Orono or whatever. It's like,
it's like no, and I think
Tim.
The reason why I think in Minnesota people still talk about this is you can't find anywhere else in the country where you had such totally different policies than the Twin Cities in Western Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Right. It's like usually like states broke down in different policies, but they were physically, geographically separated. In this case, it was a joke, right? Like I went to Hudson for dinner. Everyone did, right? Like, so you had this.
When I'm hungry, I always go to Hudson.
Right, but you couldn't go to dinner in Minnesota was the point, right? So people saw like on the other side of the river, people living. It's not like there was an epidemic of dead Wisconsinites, and people ask themselves, well, why did this happen? And that's the concerning part. I think that's why it sticks with a lot of us. And I think it's not the only, but I think it is a factor in why people are leaving, because the way their fellow citizens just were like, oh yeah, the liquor store can stay open, but you can't go to church, or the small town hardware store has to close, but Target gets to stay open.
Yeah.
Why? Because somebody said so.
Well, over the years, I've seen and heard about a lot of very wealthy Minnesotans moving to Florida because, that's where all there's no income tax and all that. But I also hear about a lot of these people, and I know a few who came back because healthcare was so shitty in Florida.
Yeah, again.
So, there are pluses and minuses here.
Sure. And that's why, like, when it comes to our culture is less tolerant to cold weather than it used to be. So if you look back at like, long-term demographic pressures, right around when air conditioning got created, the population started moving more south and east.
Yeah.
Just like it happened, right? But when we compare ourselves to our peers, we are bleeding more people in money. And it's not an easy problem to describe, and it's not an easy one to solve. But like there was a story in the Star Tribune a couple months ago about the number of college-age kids that are leaving Minnesota. I think back to like when I was a kid, Minnesota, you just went to a person randomly in the country and said, what do you know about Minnesota? They'd be like, well, Prince, the Twins won the World Series, Kirby Puckett, kind of a cool place. Now you go to people, this random person, go, what do you know about Minnesota? Oh, it's cold, George Floyd. It's just it's not cool, right? And this is like, it's a serious branding issue for our state. So it's something that I love this state. And I realize this is a buzzkill when I talk about this, but it's something that it worries me. And,
I'd say the majority of states have bad branding, though, if you think about it.
Yeah,
like Rhode Island.
That's the nature.
What do
of
any
news,
of us know about Rhode Island except for Doug? Except for that it's small.
Did you see that meme where they asked artificial intelligence to do a picture of every single state?
No.
It's just wonderful.
Minnesota's, of course, all bundled up. I think they're on the ice, ready to ice fish.
Is it Hoth? The frozen moon of Hoth?
Yeah, pretty close, yeah.
And Florida, of course, is the Florida man.
Yep.
And Wisconsin, they're fat and drinking
cheese
beer,
cheese
and beer.
Yeah. It's gonna be, but like as the oceans rise, because they are rising,
they're rising 8 inches every century.
Still rising.
More like 4 inches in the last 10 years. So
you're wrong. 8 inches in the past 150 years.
Yeah, but what about the last 10 years, where it's been hotter than it's ever been in the
it's
last
not.
200?
No, it isn't.
Oh, here we got the sign.
You know what? The thermometers weren't that good 200,000 years ago.
Here's the best metric of there's a problem. Okay, in Miami they have what's called king tides, right? So
what's that?
A king tide. So they have high tide, low tide, and then sometimes when the sun and the moon are lined up, you have a super high tide. Miami,
tides are higher on a full moon.
Yep. Right. So Miami used to experience, in daylight, just sunlight, no rain, they would have some flooding during these king tides, right? Well, they're having a lot more flooding now. And that's just happening. No one's imagining the floods that the parking ramps are getting. And again, I'm a conservative. So
is that because the ocean's coming up or Miami is going down? Because it's all built on limestone.
Could be both.
I mean, it is, yeah.
Right. But that's a piece of data where I feel it's not called compaction, but like when you start draining the water table below it, the ground is sinking, right?
Yeah, Miami's sinking. It's like the ocean. Ocean came up 8 inches, 150 years. That's not a crisis. And as far as the temperature, it's only gone up 2 degrees in the past 150 years. This is all a catastrophe.
You don't think 2 degrees is much, huh?
No,
you don't see a trend there.
No, it's like
no trend.
No, it's like moving from Madison to Minneapolis.
Let me remind you that I'm on your side. Okay, so just before we go into this, but keep in mind, like there is no rational basis to say we can put an endless amount of CO2 and methane into the atmosphere. I'm with you when people start doing dumb stuff, saying we should spend a ton of money and it doesn't really reduce a lot of pollution and it's more about self-esteem. I totally agree with you. It's got to be science-based, but you can't put 40 billion tons of CO2 into the atmosphere every year and not have an impact.
Yeah, I'm very anti-pollution, but I'm not pro-green policy per se.
Well, you're anti-stupid. Like reduce the most amount of pollution at the lowest amount of price. It's like
exactly, and it's interesting how few politicians seem to want to do that in particular. Well, they want more subsidies for manufacturing temporary solutions.
And it depends where their money's coming from.
Well,
exactly.
And look what's happened now with and the Democrats, they passed this Inflation Reduction Act thing. So there's massive subsidies going into building electric vehicles. Where are all the plants getting built?
Yeah,
in the South.
It's
Tennessee, Georgia, North Carolina.
Well, it's because
it's where you can build shit.
Well,
you can actually try in Minnesota.
No, they're getting away from the UAW is what they're doing.
Well, that's part of it, but they can also get shit done. So in Minnesota, like we're running out of nickel right now. There's one nickel mine in the United States. It's in Michigan, and it's about to run out.
That's because who's got nickels in their pocket? Let's face it.
But you need it for these electric vehicles, right?
Of course.
So if you're going to tell people you want electric vehicles, you're going to need more nickel. Well, Minnesota's got a huge nickel deposit. The federal government is giving a company $100 million to take the mine, take the earth underground, put it on rail cars and ship it to North Dakota because you cannot build anything in Minnesota. That's stupid. That's a sort of stupidity.
And you can't build anything, you're saying, because people make too much money? Is that what you're saying?
No, because we have permitting and regulations
here.
No, because we have permitting and regulations that are defaulting towards no.
But then North Dakota protects us with all the missiles that they have. At
Yeah,
least.
exactly.
Or at least we're making them happy because they could easily take that mining.
We're
stuff.
probably better off having our nickel plant protected by nuclear weapons as opposed to sitting isolated in Minnesota. Yeah.
What's gonna solve everything is if the Twins win the World Series. People will flock to this state,
And then people will
And
be
then-
coming back.
and then the Vikings, they're gonna take over. Just watch.
Maybe not,
These-
but-
No, we're good. It's
Okay,
fine.
all right.
It's the decade of Minnesota. I swear it's coming.
32 years since we've won one of the 4 major sports championships. 32 years.
Wow.
I have never been a sports fan in my life, and I have a feeling that's partially why. There's just no real reason to be under a certain age.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm just glad to see the Twins win. That's good news.
Yeah, they're technically it's the best they've done in well over a decade. So hey, the optimism is warranted for once.
And I will say this. I mean, I can certainly reach across the aisle because, we got Republicans now, a few of them, one in this room, who's trying to make it legal for us just to make a few sports bets.
Yeah, no shit.
And I mean, we were supposed to have this.
Yeah, how is that going, by the way?
That's not going anywhere.
It's not. It's just dead in the water. You were so close, I think.
Wait,
a year and a half ago.
sports betting isn't legal here? We've been sitting here talking about sports gambling for half an hour.
Well,
We've been talking about illegal activity.
Well, people do find a way to gamble on sports.
Well, especially with technology. I mean,
The technology makes it a lot easier. There is, but all that money, all that money is going 5,000 miles away from us.
Right.
And so it's just stupid. Let's grab some of that money.
Yeah, and plus you want to protect consumers, but it's
right.
There's a debate right now. Like, if you engage in sports gambling, you can do it from home, right? If you've invested millions of dollars on being a destination gambling location, people being able to gamble from home is not exactly in alignment with what your business interests are.
Sure. Right.
And so that's part. And then it's always the fight about, well, who's going to make money on this?
Yeah.
And you can imagine there's some people who want to make money and a lot of people who do want to,
And once the Indians started opening casinos, that was the end of the horse racing industry. There were like 5 parks around Chicago, and they're all gone now.
Yeah, I mean, when the racetrack opened, and of course I was there at the time, it was fantastic. The first year was incredible. The second year was pretty good, and it was great for all of us who actually know how to bet on horse racing, because we had all this stupid money coming in from people who live in Minnesota. And then, but by about the third year, then Mystic Lake came in. And yeah, that was, I won't say it was the beginning of the end, but it was the beginning of a lot more austerity. And the racetrack just wasn't cool anymore.
Oh, okay.
Well, it takes too long in between the bets,
Right.
Well, it's a different type of
You want
customer.
that dopamine every time you get the win.
It's a different type of customer.
Yeah,
right?
it's the same customer. It just when it was a racetrack, you made them wait. It's like, you place your bet, and then you wait. Okay,
Right.
I won. And then then you got another 20 minutes before the next one with the slot machine. It's just bam, bam,
Right.
bam,
Well, that's right.
bam.
I mean, I don't know a lot, but I know a number of people who are definitely gambling addicts, and they much prefer slot machines and that kind of thing. And again, it's like they're getting the dopamine every half second.
Right.
But then again, of course, eventually the dopamine is spent. It goes away, and those people just are added to. They're I know a lot of these people. They become terribly depressed, but as a depressive, I say, not in the right way.
No,
It's artificial.
You guys who are younger, the slot machines appeal to you? They interest you, or do you just find them as See, and that's the problem with the industry is the younger generation just doesn't get.
Well, but
I'll be 65, and those things depress the shit out of
they're
me.
so depressing.
You walk in there, and it's all these old people just like
Cigarette in one
glazed
hand,
eyes.
drink in the other.
Yeah,
Yep.
I've never liked it.
The problem is
horrible.
the slot machines have been largely supplanted by gotcha games and loot boxes on mobile apps.
Oh, sure, yeah, you
And
get the
those
same
make
kind of thing.
so much money, and kids as young,
Okay.
very underage kids are buying loot boxes.
What? Explain. I have no idea what you just said.
All right, so in a video game in the before times, when video games were arguably better. I say this as someone who's approaching 40, of course.
You kids don't have any good video
Yes, exactly.
games. Let me tell
Back
you, in
when
my
Super
day,
Mario Brothers was
Beginning of
new.
the end.
No,
Andy.
for me, it all began.
Well, let him finish.
Yeah, I want to hear
Well, I
this.
just want to say it all started and ended with Pong.
Right.
Well, of course. But so like in the old days, you're playing a video game, you get to a hard part and you got to get better at it or you got to go level up or whatever, you get past the hard part.
Mm-hmm.
Now a lot of mobile games are free to play, but they have these gates in them where you get to a part that's really hard, but you really can't do anything about it except for put money into the game. And what the money lets you do is draw equipment or characters, but you don't know what you're going to get when you draw. So you draw 10 times, you're going to get 9 pieces of crap, and you might get that one sword that you need to pass this part. But if you don't get that sword, what do? You have to draw again. So it's a % chance of getting this one thing that you need to keep playing the game. And then let's say you get this sword, you beat this boss. What's going to happen 5 hours later? Exact same thing, except now the sword you need is even rarer and more powerful. So people are putting $500,000 into these games.
Well, it's kind of like getting a building permit in Minnesota, isn't it?
I was going to say dating, but
oh, when he said loot box, I was a little bit worried. It was like a derogatory term for a woman. So I
know one thing. When I get home, I'm going to cancel my subscription to the Racing Forum.
All right, guys, we've got just about a minute left. Let's promote your Crash and Burn show a little bit more. Are tickets available? Who else?
Yeah,
is on
yeah.
it? I'm sorry for the wild distraction.
No, that's okay. Tickets are available at acmecomedycompany.com or 612-338-6393. And like I said, tonight, after the show, you're going to be able to stick around and see comics actually write material right in front of your very eyes on stage. It's Tommy Ryman, of course, is going to be there. Also, we have Liz Mealy and Derek Hughes has been working on a new magic trick all week. And it's just been wonderful to watch the magic trick develop.
Make the audience disappear.
Yeah. No, I'm usually that magician.
Yeah. That's right. All right, that wraps it up. Thanks, everybody, for coming in to this. I don't know when we'll have another Car Selling Secrets. It'll be sometime in the future.
Well, you're a free agent now. You can do it whatever you want.
Yeah, I could just do it from my house and just talk to myself. Tom Barnard Show will be back on the air tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. This is the first week of the new start time. So tune in and be cool. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.